Hello everybody, how's it going? I hope everyone's having a... Please tell me my kid's working. Hello everybody. How's it going? I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone's having a nice day. I'm doing good. I hope everyone else is doing well. Sorry you're not doing so well, and I hope things get better, dude. If you're not, just kind of chill out tonight. Let's have a good night. Hello Kimichi, how's it going? I hope everyone's having a great day. We're doing a bit of a just chat tonight because I've been doing one of these and I've been really wanting to do one of these. I'll be reacting to some videos I've been wanting to react to. Let's see what else are we doing. So we're reacting to some videos tonight. I'm having Blackburn join me. We get better. That's fair. Hello, I don't know what to call you. I'm silent. I am the imp. How's it going? I sell coffee. Want a cup? Wrong. Ah! I think I broke my thing. No! Imp, it's Moxie from Hell of a Boss. Fuck you, that's not it. That is... Motherfucker, why am I glitched though? I appear to be headless. I don't know what's going on, but okay, that's a thing now apparently. Let me holy shit, what's my thing? I'm just gonna... Let's just not speak of that actually. Hello! Who gave you that haircut? I don't know who gave me that haircut. I think it was my barber, but then again, he probably was trying to kill me considering I did not pay him enough. Also, I don't believe in sin. Background before it's nice. Oh, thank you. I worked hard in the background. I hope everyone enjoys it. Gotta head out early tonight because I'm camping with some friends, but I hope everything goes well. Oh, I hope your camping goes well. Although knowing you is probably gonna be sus as shit. I'm gonna be honest. Motherfucker. Oh yeah, I gotta recalibrate shit. I hope you know it hurts doing that shit. Motherfucker. Ow. Recalibrate it because it was hitting my crotch for some reason. It is not a place you want to get hit. It is not. Stop staring at that. Okay. Those right into the brains of my noggin. Okay, should be ready. Hello. Can you guys not? Like, seriously? What the hell? We barely started. Come on. Also, I don't believe in this. Yeah, I know, glitch. It happens so frequently. It's unreal how frequently it happens. Like, I swear, it's like it's like, what's it? How many minutes we've been live for 5 minutes and it's already happened. Holy shit! I don't even think I've been live for half that. I think it's been like less than 3 minutes technically. Might be a little suck, to be honest. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it'd be fun camping with you, but I feel like I feel like it'd be very bad. You know, be very sus. It'd be a very sus camping trip. It'd be very sus. Are you a D&D enthusiast? I have been wanting to get into D&D. People keep telling me to get into D&D. I want to get into it, but I have not found a DM or a group to actually do D&D. Plus the time. Time is a lot of things in being world, and you don't get much of it. Me and one of my friends have been for a few months, so we might get later. Well, I hope you enjoy your camping trip. Hopefully, is it like a 4th of July camping trip? Are you gonna be shooting out fireworks? Because that sounds awesome. But I'm gonna head down and go take shots at fireballs. Bye-bye, get fired. Okay, have fun. Okay, I'm gonna send you some vids for you to react on your diss. Okay. Glitch? Oh, no. What do you mean? Oh no, I think Glitch is confused. No, I think I'm confused. I'm confused, chat, help. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh yeah, Blackbeard will be joining us a bit later. Kinda had a few things come up, so he's a bit late. Other than that, we're just gonna be kinda hanging out tonight. Is there a video? Yeah, you could put, if you want to suggest a video, put it in the video suggestions area. Like, that way I can actually see it. I head out with my city? Okay! I hope you do! Actually, I'm also gonna head out with my city. Okay! I hope you're doing well, good though. I hope you have a nice day though, dude. Have a nice day and, you know, get some sun or whatever it is you're doing. I don't know if it's daytime or nighttime. I don't know. Have a nice time, dude. It's not a 4th of July camping. We are just out here because we got all time off. That is fair. That is honestly fair. Actually, it's not the city, I mean. Oh, I can make a joke right now, but I'm not going to. I hope you have fun. Sweet home Alabama. I said I wasn't gonna make the joke and then I make the joke anyway. I'm an idiot. I'm evil. There's a reason I have voice. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a fun night. I think this is gonna be a very entertaining night. Also, like that. Tell me the joke. Well, I was just saying, sweet home Alabama. Do you know what kind of these do fish have? I don't know. Mermaids. You know, that was just bad enough. Make me want to continue. Bro, realist is. I know, right? Also, Chlamydia. What? Oh yeah, Chlamydia. I hate these. I hate all of these. These are actually hurting. Like, Angel's jokes are hurting. My own jokes are hurting. Every joke hurts right now. The pain is real, but it's fine. Everyone's fine being here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, let's be honest. I think you forgot how to roll. No, I didn't forget how to roll. I can roll. Watch. Ding ding. I said roll. Roll. You have the hurt. You know what hurts right now? What hurts right now? Me? Me how me roll? No, I did not forget how you roll, dude. I did not forget how you roll. I just hurt still. It's never gonna not hurt. The jokes are just that bad, but still decently clever. You know, dad jokes, in my opinion, are like decently clever enough to get away, but also at the same time not be good enough to really warrant telling again, if that makes sense. Like, they're just good enough to pass being a decent joke. They're not good enough to spread. Other day weird happened, and something weird happened the other day? What happened the other day? I'm now curious about what happened this other day. Did you order spaghetti? Did it come back bad? Was it bad spaghetti? My orange fell and was rolling down the street as suddenly stopped. My stomach hurts. Dude, I'm so sorry your stomach hurts. Just grab some like Tums or some antacids or something like that. Just, you know, grab some for your stomach, man. I hope it feel better. I hope it feel better. I was gonna offer you a hug to make it feel better, but I don't think that'd help, especially with the stomach. I would offer the Heimlich maneuver, but I also think that'd be, you know, bad. I think I ran out of... You know, I have never threatened to push someone down the stairs, but I would push you down the stairs, Danko. Why do you trust me? No, I'd push you down the stairs. 100% down the stairs. You would be a stairs person. Me and my toilet won't be okay in a few minutes or hours. honestly, it's one of those things I feel like it's gonna bite you in the ass. And I did not mean... Well, I mean, I guess I meant that literally, but yeah, it's gonna bite you in the ass probably later. Oh, now for real. Did I tell you I got my glasses? Oh, nice. You got the glasses. I'm very happy about that. You can see now. You can see my bad artwork. And my bad model. And my bad everything. Because I'm bad. You know, I'm just bad at what I do. You know, I just self-deprecation's real, man. I'm just joking, but later onwards, my ass gonna hurt. Yeah, basically, it is going to hurt. I honestly, you should not be looking forward to that. I'm very sorry about that. I could always see, but now I don't have killer headaches. Oh, nice. That's actually good. I'm glad you don't have any more headaches, dude. I'm glad those glasses have been helping. Because I'm gonna be honest, I get headaches a lot. Well, I mean, not as much as but I used to get headaches a lot. It was never fun. It was never fun at all. It was mostly painful, and I really did not like it. But it's fine. Later. That's my ass gonna hurt. Yeah. Again, yeah, I think it's one. Can I tell my safe for word Twitch appropriate price? Sure, why not? Why are your shirts still off? Because people like it off, but I get to put it back on as well. Like, I don't have it set to a timer yet. I've been trying to do that because it's a little complicated to set it on like a timer to where it automatically goes back. So I've been trying to work with it. It's been a whole thing. What do you call a line at a gay bar? Voister, are you still talking about why gaming is getting worse? We haven't got to that yet, Voister, because Blackburn isn't here. He's the one collabing with me tonight. Well, as soon as he gets here, we're gonna actually go into a bunch of videos discussing why I think that's going on. You know, oh my, that's actually good, but ow. Actually, if you want to join, it's awesome. Yeah, Voister, you want to join for a bit? Since I'm waiting on Blackburn? Because I'm just waiting for a bit as soon as he gets in. Just join general, I can drag you in. Oh god, let me drag him in. Oh god, dragging someone in like this is really... Oh shit. Give me a second. Minimize all the text. Because it's being rude. Okay, there you are. Welcome!
Hello, hello!
So how's it going? Oh wow, you are... I forgot about that. You're underneath... You're holding up chat, I hope you know that.
I'm holding up chat? What does that mean?
Your helmet's holding up chat. Those little blue things are holding up chat currently.
Oh, amazing.
You're like the sign man right now. It's very interesting.
I'm Atlas.
Yeah, technically you're right. You are an Atlas right now. But what's going on with you? I'm doing good. So much. If you wanna laugh, watch my vid. We'll watch that probably later, Anko. It's a helmet. Yes, it's a helmet. This is Voister. Hello, Voister. Let me shout you out.
Hello. Thank you.
If the butt would work.
I literally just did that on my own channel.
Son of a bitch. I have been literally trying to fix these damn buttons. They said they were working earlier, you pieces of fucking shit. Oh god. I'm gonna have to do this manually, son of a bitch. You have gotta be kidding me. Why is that not working? That should be working. You know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna add a desktop audio. That way it probably will capture the audios, because I don't know why they're not working on this. Because it's kind of pissing me off, because I've been trying to fix this. I'll complain about the thing later. Yeah. But I said shout out Voister. Oh god. And one time you want things to go right, and they're just not going right, Voister, right?
Oh my, yeah, I recently had to turn off all my sound alerts because they will not work for the life of me.
Yeah, no, mine aren't working, but it's because something I guess is wrong. That's my boy. That's your boy, and he is getting shouted out.
Oh my
Also,
god, thank you, Sai.
there's a little update for everybody. If you guys are in the Discord and want to become clippers, you can actually go into the roles section and add that to yourself. And for those who actually clip videos, I'm going to be making an area to where you can post your videos in, hopefully. I kind of want to see if I can make it automatic to where you guys don't have to post it all the time. But we'll also be doing ratings of the best clips. For those who have the best clips, I think I'll be doing like a small, like an actual decent shout out. I've been planning some other things to do. But for those who actually want to help me out, because the clips help me out, they help me get it out of here and all that shit. It just generally helps me out. But thank you guys, honestly. But if you guys want to join and be clippers, you know, feel free. Just a different account. I'm different reptile, but same. Oh, this man is a clone.
That's what I was thinking.
Moisture, get the gun. Get the gun right now.
Do we not fuck with clones? What's the policy of cloning?
The policy with cloning, unless they're built for army purposes, they are strictly termination based.
Low-key, I can get behind that.
Unless they're used for other purposes, in which case they may still live.
I think cloning for organ harvesting purposes.
Not that. No. Think no.
Stuff.
Think sussier.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, I did a very casual skirt around the topic.
Stop skirting around it and just address it, man. I can't lie. I accidentally followed. Dude, if you accidentally followed, as long as you're having a good time here, that's all I care about. That's all I care about, dude. What's a clipper? Clippers are the people who are in my Discord server who clip videos. Like, you know how in Twitch you can actually clip stuff? It helps me out because I send it to my editor, and then I give personal shouts and the YouTube shorts that I make for it. It helps a lot. I grab a piece of hair. Stop grabbing hair. Why are you guys grabbing each other's hair? Are you guys like? You guys are ERPing right in my in my chat.
So he wants a clone of you, and I was like, I'll grab you a piece of hair to clone.
See, this is it. Do you even know who I am? You're Glitch. And I know you're Seth. Sebastian. My brain is breaking. Sorry.
That's reasonable.
It's been a very long week, but it's fine. Well, yeah, Busher, we're talking about the Sebastian. Yeah, I know. A little bit of delay, dude. Trust me, it's fine. Oh, please. Busher, just give me a real thing. Wow. Well, for those who don't know, I have a bunch of videos we're gonna react to, and later on, so we're done reacting to it, we're gonna give our thought. Me and Blackburn are gonna give our thoughts about it. But basically, we're talking about why I think, in my opinion, AAA gaming specifically is going downhill.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't wait to talk about that stuff. Blackburn said he'd be there in like 15 minutes. He may be running late because of a few things. I'm not gonna judge him for that. But yeah, I just decided to go live and just chat with everybody. But what about you, Busher? What do you think is bad so far? I'm actually kind of curious.
I'm kind of gonna play devil's advocate here because I believe in both sides, especially when we look to the past for our quantifying of is gaming getting worse. We obviously have to look at past examples for games to quantify whether or not games now are getting bad. And when you look at games pre-2010, it's really up in the air whether you can call games objectively good. Like if you expect, okay, let's say San Andreas dropped today in today's climate,
yeah,
people would not think that's a good game.
No, they would. You know why?
Why?
If it dropped in today's climate, it'd be a very good Grand Theft Auto style indie game, and everyone would enjoy that. Especially if you price it at like $20 right now, it'd make a killing. Especially if the story being so good. Also, thank you for the headpads. I love the headpads. Also, when Scary Movie Night, I am actually planning more events in the server, actually.
Scary Movie Night sounds fire. But seeing that San Andreas is a AAA game, we have to also give it a AAA price tag.
No.
That's climate.
That's not how it works. You see, this is how it works. When it comes to games like San Andreas or anything else like that, like, are you talking about like developed with the modern specs or as it is right now?
I'm talking about if it was dropped into a modern climate with a modern price tag under a modern setting.
Under a would it be developed with a modern engine, or is it just the same
Yes.
game? Oh, if it's, yeah, definitely. If it's like developed with a modern engine, like that's a whole different scenario.
You think so?
But okay, so Blackbird's gonna join in a sec. But no, like when it comes to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, if you were to launch it as it was back then, right now, I'd price it as like an indie game, $20, and it'd still be fire. It would kick ass if that was the case.
I feel like that's under the context of it being an indie game, though. You know what I mean?
True, but that's the thing. Most games, like if like you're not gonna take a game that looks like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas from the past and put that as a game out like right now. Like if you took Grand Theft Auto from like the PlayStation 2 or the GameCube, port it over with a good PC port, and just let that be the game, I think it'd do well as an indie game. And the reason I say indie game is because you're not expecting, if it was released in the climate right now, for a AAA game to look like that.
Yeah. See, I think the answer to the question is both a yes and a no. I feel like as our technology develops and as we continue going further and further pushing the boundaries, I think our definitions of good games change. I think our qualifiers of good games change.
That's understandable. I think,
and then
sorry. So the way I see it is this: it's not about good games or changing, because we all know what a good game is. It has a good story, good gameplay, generally fun to play, and can waste a bunch of time on. That's like generally what a good game is. Yeah. I'm just throwing out generals. But when it comes to recently, you haven't been getting any of that. You've been either getting a good story with decent enough gameplay, or you've been getting a great game, great gameplay, but the story is so awful it just makes you want to throw it out. Basically, you haven't been getting what basics are. Like, please, like what do we expect for basics? Blackburn looks like Voicetrayer. Oh, because Voicetrayer's stopping in for a bit. Blackburn was a little bit late, so he's almost here. And when he gets in here, we're gonna start the actual video reactions.
So how do you feel about Baldur's Gate 3 then?
Baldur's Gate 3 is the thing that I think changed everything.
Okay. What about God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok?
You see, my problem with those games is they're basically not games.
Okay.
The reason I say that is this: it's not that they're not games. They play like games. They are video games. You can play them. But that's not their focus. They fall into the category of what I like to call movie games. Their main thing is the story. Their entire thing is the story. And if they could, people would play them even if it was just like auto-attacking, basically.
Okay, I can understand that. So how do you feel about... I personally don't like this game, but a lot of people really, really love this game. Detroit Become Human.
Detroit Become Human is also a movie game, but that one's more of a point-and-click adventure game. So,
okay.
Like, how to put it, point-and-click adventure games are their own subsect of... So I categorize movie games like this. There's the action-based movie games, like the ones that Sony produces, like Spider-Man, God of War, Uncharted, Ghost of Tsushima. All of those games are action-based movie games.
Okay.
Then you have the second subset of movie games, which I call the point-and-click adventure games. Those have our basic story. You basically don't play through the game. You're basically watching a movie and being able to influence the choices. But what makes those games special and not the regular movie games is the fact you can change the story.
Okay.
So, let's take a look. Walking Dead, one of the best point-and-click adventure games in my opinion. The first season of Walking Dead was great.
Yeah.
That season of Walking Dead was great because you felt the choices, everything mattered, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Those are the ones that are really good in my opinion. When does online games fall into the list? Online games fall into the list of like movie games, if that's what you're meaning. Detroit Become Human is what Telltale Games should have been in my opinion, but they didn't do that because they still considered... You know what? I want to go into a topic later because the reason Telltale's failed is because they considered themselves an indie games company, even though they were making AAA money. They thought too small of themselves, actually.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I agree with that.
when does online games fall into this list? Online games fall into this list very rarely. Like, I haven't seen a movie-based game fall into that list. Just because when it's usually about the movie games or like action games or stuff like that, it's mostly a single player thing. That way you can just kind of replay the game and you're not stuck having to like do an online match or get a bunch of co-op buddies to do that. But then again, there are the exceptions like the escape, the prison escape one, where it's like you have those two, but you play as the co-op.
Yes, sir.
Like what was it, that the cop one, that one.
I'm
Like,
blanking on the name, but I know exactly what
you
you're
know what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
I
But
know
that
exactly what you're
one
talking
is technically a movie game you play with a friend. So there's always an exception to the rule, but it's not like it isn't a rule, basically.
Well, it's also it can get pretty hard to quantify games because each game should try and forge out its own path and its own niche and its own genre of games. Obviously,
Yeah.
not all games because some companies get pretty lazy in making a game.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but most games tend to try and push the norm in a different way.
No, I fully agree with that. My thing about it is this: when it comes to the movie games, I think they're not. Well, how about the movie games? In my opinion, are games, but they barely meet the requirement for games. They're more about the story than they are the gameplay. Counterpoint: Elden Ring.
Absolutely.
It has a great story if you look into it, but it's gameplay. That is what I call the peak of gaming. Not because it's, the best game ever, but because it's about the gameplay. It still gives you a story if you look hard enough, but it's mostly about the game. It's a game. It's like a gamey game that you can't really get anymore, basically. Like,
I completely understand that. However, I would say Baldur's Gate, for myself personally, is more of like a peak game.
What I would say is Baldur's Gate, as of recently, is peak because it fits both. The story is interactive. It's amazing. Your choices feel like they matter. In my opinion, Baldur's Gate has been the only true AAA game that has released in the last few years because the story was great. Characters were amazing. They had memorable voice lines. They didn't cheap out on anything. The gameplay was fantastic because it made you think. You got to be creative. You got to do basically whatever you wanted. And I'm still finding stuff after this,
Oh, absolutely.
Let me read some of the comments because they've been having paragraphs right now. Dude, it's like 4. I'll be going. Love y'all. I'm a weird way. Bye bye, dude. Good night. Get some sleep, man. Get some sleep, Glitch. This video. Ubisoft and EA have lost the plot in making a game. Ubisoft more than ever making everything an RPG is mad boring and gotta stop. We gotta making a lackluster games and charging $90 upgrades to DLCs before games even out. Oh, the things I could say about Ubisoft. Let me say one thing about Ubisoft before I let you speak. I'm not trying to cut you off. I just generally need to say one thing. Ubisoft is the king of mid. None of their games are horrendous to play. Except for Skull and Bones. That was actually horrendous. But none of their games are bad to play. Like, I can go back and play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and hell, I can even play Valhalla and still find it fun. But it's not worth the thing they're charging for. They charge so much for this stuff that is the middest of mid possible. And it's just it's not worth the cash.
Absolutely.
Ow, motherfucker.
So, I think this is both a consumer's fault and a publisher's fault. I'm not excusing Ubisoft because they shouldn't be doing this in the first place. However, people shouldn't be buying these games outright. Like, you shouldn't be paying $130 for a premium edition that gets you one extra mission. That just encourages them to do the exact same thing time after time.
Let me minute.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, hello, dude.
Hello.
Hello, Blackburn. How are you? Oh god, your Fuji's not appearing. Ah! Hello, Blackburn. I hope you're doing well. Oh wait, there you are. Welcome.
I have gone now. Alright. Hi.
So welcome.
How are things? Sorry about the wait, everybody. I had a unfortunate thing called life, traffic, and heartache.
Oof.
Ooh. Wait, heartache. I'm not gonna push on that one.
Heartache because of the traffic.
Oh. I thought the cat girl we were dating finally broke up with you, and I was like, oh no, man, this the doggo need a hug.
Nope, cat girl's still going strong.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. But so oh yeah, who's the forgot a Blizzard? So Blackburn, just to let you know, we are talking about gaming right now, and why I think gaming is getting worse. We're gonna be watching some videos as we go through it all. So yeah, we're gonna give our bit of a reaction to them all, basically. Well, me and voiceover just talking while waiting.
Alright, well, let's see. Assholes of Gaming Award. Bethesda gets one, Ubisoft gets one, EA gets one. The guy who made RimWorld, he gets one.
RimWorld?
Yeah. I'm very disappointed in Tynan Sylvester. He's like, it's like he's a Stellaris dev with the price of those DLCs.
Oh yeah, I saw.
And I'm just like, those are full price games, and they're expansions onto this game, because there's always gonna be whales that can get it.
That's
like,
fair.
I haven't bought a single one of them besides Royalty, because Royalty was such a fucking disappointment. I paid so much money, and it added in basically an ending and psychic powers, and psychic powers are already a thing created by modders. So,
so they basically just added mods to the game as base, like DLC.
Yes.
Dang.
And then charged $15 for it.
Oh,
now, granted, the ending for that one was tedious, but at least it was good. The ending for Ideology, where you have to like find this giant supercomputer that ascends reality, that one sucked because you had to remake a colony 3 whole times in one go. And there wasn't even any finances added to it. Like, it didn't even tie into the Ideology thing. And then the new one, sorry, there's 2 new ones now. There's the biotech one, which was alright, but once again, that thing already existed in mods. And then the new one, which adds in children, and I'm like, that was modded in already, alright?
Yeah, so, freaking apparently, Rushcaster is like, oh, that's who I forgot, also not at AA, but Activision cannot make good games right now, but they still make bank on Call of Duty because dumb people. Yeah, let's be honest.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna be honest,
the Unheard of edition for Tarkov is a perfect example of that.
I'm gonna be honest, I think there is one decently sized problem gaming that I don't think anyone talks about, and that is the whales. I think people mention them, but no one, I haven't seen anyone go into really in depth of whaling, basically. But, do you guys want to do a reaction, or do you want to keep talking and then do a reaction? Because I do have one video I really want to react to, because it's someone shitting on Elden Ring, basically saying it's not, like, easily accessible, or, like, not accessible for, like, disabled people, basically.
I mean, I would love to see this video.
Let's see it.
So far. You guys want to go in the video? Okay, let me switch to my actually Twitch thing so I can actually video capture. There you guys are. Hello. And see. Let me freaking grab this. I gotta stream it so you guys can watch with me at the same time and not be falling behind on BOsh. Also, I got like a few videos for us, so we will have content to talk about. Oh yeah. This is Elden Ring's DLC is too hard. But let me...
Didn't Mr. Moist already cover this?
Mr. Moist did cover this, but I want to cover it because I really want to talk about this because I have some shit to say.
All right. I heard that Elden Ring was too hard. It's not actually. I'm pretty sure he punched his way through the game.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, he fisted his way through the game, and it was like, yeah.
So, do you guys see the video?
Yes, sir.
Now I see the video.
Now, let me make sure it's a good, decent quality. Okay, No, I want the HD.
I want 8 pixels on
I
my
want
screen.
8 pixels. Pixels are bad. But no, we're gonna go through the video one by one, and we're gonna basically talk about it as we go. And I will be pausing midway through to give our thoughts for those who really want to like interrupt or say something. Make these videos. Make that video. Wait, Asmongold made a video on this shit. I didn't even know that. Fuck, okay.
Asmongold did too. Yeah, everybody did because a bunch of brain dead morons were complaining that it was too hard.
That's fair. Well, let's.
Diatabeo.
Diatabeo. Either way, let's do this.
The day has finally come. The people have finally spoken. So
wait.
listen up.
Did she change the title? What?
Let's
I have
see.
no idea.
Did the title get changed?
Because it
Elden
says
Ring
DLC is too hard / it's not now. The what?
has it been changed?
I think it was changed because the last time I remember it was too hard. Now it's not added on to the back of it. Am I going crazy about that? I think I may be
Check the
going crazy.
comments.
Too many death threats she got, making it clear. Oh. Damn.
Probably, Dan. Probably.
Let's
Are
continue.
you sure that this video isn't about prank?
I don't think it's a prank because considering she's a game developer, and it's one of the things. Because the thing is, it's
Why
not
don't
that.
you check the comments?
Well, the reason I'm saying is because what she's saying here, even if it is a prank, it's what a lot of game developers and like game journalists push. So even if it is, we can still react with a decent opinion on it. Happy to know I made a difference. Thank you, dude. It's not facts. It's
oh my
facts.
god, Rev. I can't believe you just typed that out.
I mean, it is gonna get crazy. Let's go on.
Miyazaki. Elden Ring's DLC is too hard. I have like a couple of like kind of very different branching takes to make in this video. I am going to talk about accessibility and why I think accessibility is really important and how common of a conversation accessibility is with FromSoft games.
Actually, question, just straight off the bat, what do you guys think about accessibility in games?
I don't know. All I can think of is how she's got the hair of a fracture hob.
What the what? A fracture.
Look up Look up what a fracture hob is, and you'll know what I mean.
Let me bring up another freaking area because I need to look up what a fracture hob is.
I'm pretty sure there's no Rule 34 of it, so you could totally.
If I get Rule 34, I'm booting you.
No, it should be the home safety hotline.
Let's go gambling.
If I see, I'm just saying, you know, fracture hob.
Look at that hair. Look at the hair.
Fracture hob. Are entities recording? There's no danger in human.
Here, I'll send it to you in DMs.
Yeah,
you're reading the article. That doesn't have an image on it. Here, look.
What?
Look at the hair on this piece. Look at the hair on this.
What the?
She's got hair like a fracture hob.
You know what? Yeah, no, just. I mean, I now that you pointed out, I see it, but ow. That's a wig, 100%. That hurts.
No. I was playing Home Safety Hotline, and all I can think of is how her hair is the same color as the fracture hobs.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what Home Safety Hotline is, but it sounds like a Hotline Miami type BS. So let's continue. Oh wait, I still didn't answer the question. What do you guys think about fucking health and safety? This fucking we just insulted her for
Did
like
you
2
say
minutes.
health and safety? Do you mean accessibility?
Accessibility.
Did you forget what you said? Okay.
I mean, as long as it doesn't interrupt gameplay or gameplay performance, I'm fine with it.
Accessibility features don't have to be made by the devs. They just have to not be disproven by the like, as long as they're not blocked by the developers, accessibility tools can go a certain extent. Colorblind mode. There's a certain reasonable accommodation that's expected due to the ADA Act, which I believe extends to recreation if you purchase a product. Such as, colorblind mode. That's something that can be built into games. But accessibility, controller, mouse, and keyboard, I've seen people beat them on both. Okay.
So I'm gonna be honest. I think when it comes to accessibility, what I consider accessibility is just different ways of playing the game, like completely being able to reconfigure a controller's button layout, colorblind mode, like you said, like different styles of controllers that you can plug into it, like non-restrictive controller inputs, basically. You know, stuff you could just like, program into this to make it easier for everybody.
Absolutely.
I think those are what I think true accessibility really does need. But I've seen a lot of people think about it basically just adding easy modes to everything. So I am now curious to see what her take is, because people just keep shitting on her, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even watched a full video.
I mean, something that Helldivers dev said is a game for everyone is a game for no one.
You know what? That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Let's continue on and see what she's got.
Concerned, and why I do think it would be great if disabled players could play Elden Ring, even though it is already currently their most accessible game. There's a lot of room for improvement. But we're also going to talk about... I don't even know where to start. There are a bunch of negative reviews on Steam for Elden Ring because Shadow of the Erdtree is considered too hard. I never thought we would get to a landscape where people will admit that they found a FromSoft game too hard. Like, even if people do, I never thought that they would admit it. Now, it's worth noting that the presence of this has been a little bit exaggerated. A lot of the negative reviews on Steam are also people complaining about the performance problems, which are there, they are consistent. And that's a separate story that I've spoken about before that people did not want to hear, which is that, yeah, FromSoft really gets a pass for a lot of things sometimes. Like, the reviews were all 10 out of 10, even though most of these people are playing on PC, and there are PC performance problems with these games.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to a lot of PC performance games, like, if the PC takes a hit, most people don't care. Let's be honest.
Most people do care if their PC performance takes a hit whenever it affects something that is... Like, that's a valid... See, that's what I thought. This content creator here is talking as a joke. Satire that's too hard, but the difficulty... Like, the performance issues are valid. You know, there's going to be patches to optimize it. Because in a game like this, if it's lagging, that means that you'll have mistimed button presses. And if you're fighting something like Millennia, that needs to be perfect.
I know, I fully agree on that. But my whole thing is, when it comes to a lot of games, even if there's performance problems, people will usually rate the game as still a decent score, even with the problems. Like hell, Jedi, was it the Jedi Outcast or
Survivor?
Survivor, thank you.
Yes,
Jedi
sir.
Survivor released on PC, and it was abysmal of a port. And like, I think if they even had problems, and they still made a decent review score out of it.
Like, which people? The people on Steam or game journalists? Because game journalists...
I'm talking about the game journalists.
It doesn't... Game journalists' opinions don't matter. They are...
Glad to know your viewpoint on that, actually.
They are, as we say in the business, dumb. Because money talks to the idiot savants. Right?
You know what?
And when you are...
absolute... Oh, sorry, my bad.
And when you are that... Yeah... When the two brain cells that you rub together don't have enough energy to create a good report... They were going to give Jedi Survivor a good thing anyways, because it has Disney behind it. You really think you're going to spurn Disney? Really? No, you kiss the ass of Disney, so you get money.
I mean, yeah, but...
It's how... It's business.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not that I don't understand it being business and all that stuff. But I'll go to game journalism later, because I actually have my own thoughts on that and why I think it's actually burning in a weird way currently. But we'll talk about that. Let's continue the video a bit.
Those are totally valid, and thankfully have been patched. So, though, has the difficulty. There are like two sides of this, right? Okay. There's a thing when people talk about FromSoft games that I always find really interesting. People will say, but it's part of the appeal that, like, you're fighting something really hard and then you finally overcome it. That's part of the appeal of the games.
Yeah.
No. While there are things that FromSoft games do incredibly well, like, I am obsessed with their boss designs and their animation. Like, for all the things we love about it, their bosses are so impressive in terms of art direction and animation. They don't even need to be. Like, oh my god, they're just so good at that. The sense of discovery is unparalleled. The uniqueness of the world is near unparalleled. Like, there are a lot of things that FromSoft games do really well. But saying part of the appeal is beating the... But it's not part of the appeal. It's the entire design of the game. It's the whole game. It is the core ethos, the core game design of any FromSoft game, is that you are supposed to approach a boss, Be willing to die the first several times as you assess their moveset, you figure out the puzzle that is beating this boss. You've retained information about their movesets, about what kills you, about how you can avoid it, and you roll into them. And then after a certain amount of deaths, which are to be totally expected, if you beat an Elden Ring boss in less than like 3 deaths, in my opinion, that's an RNG fluke and not you playing the game well. The big part of the game is learning how that stuff works.
Actually, question. Voicer, have you actually played a Souls-like game?
Yeah, I've beaten Elden Ring. I'm on my second run of it, and I've played halfway through Sekiro twice.
Okay, I was just curious because I don't know who all.
I'm still stuck on the Elden Beast.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're stuck on the Elden Beast. At least you made it there. I will say that.
No. You wanna know what's funny is I beat Godfrey without dying once. I showed up,
crazy.
I kicked his ass, and then I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Let me just spend my souls, and then I'm gonna go on to the next one. And then I went, and then Radagon is just so tough against magic. I'm a magic user. All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and
dude, I'm a
bringing in
magic
summons,
user.
honestly, I don't get past Radagon if I summon anyone. I have gotten so close to being the Elden Beast so many times, but it always comes down to I run out of mana.
Oh wait,
I run out of my FP so fast.
Wait. How do you deal with Mikola though?
Mikola? Oh,
Mikola.
I'm also
Wait, do you cheese
Why are you saying Mikola? You mean Moog? Or are you talking about Melania, the legendary swordswoman?
No. I'm talking about Mikola, the boss you have to fight before the Elden Beast.
That's not Mikola.
That's Radagon.
Oh, sorry. That's my bad. That's me getting shit wrong.
That's all good.
Are you sure you're not a game journalist?
I'm not a game journalist for one reason. I beat Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Game journalists can't say that. Also, I also had to fucking do, like, I fucking, because I beat the game myself, and then I beat it with a bunch of friends doing a co-op playthrough, and now I just started the Elden, because the problem is this, the reason I have such a problem with Elden Ring right now is because it released the same time Dawn Trail did, so I'm like, I love both, I can't play both, why? Because, like, if I dedicate time to one, I've got to be missing out on the other. So I've been playing Dawn Trail more. And as soon as I finish Dawn Trail, the next thing I'm playing is immediately Elden Ring. But yeah.
That's very valid.
As it is, I did play Elden Ring a little bit, and I killed the first boss already. Actually, it was my first try. I was very happy about that. But yeah, let's continue. I was just curious about everyone's, like references to Elden Ring or just Souls like in general, because I didn't know if you guys, because I'm pretty sure Blackmore did, but I didn't know if you did Worcester.
Yep.
All right, let's continue.
Yeah,
then.
I'm still stuck on Elden Beast. It's a shame, I know, but I'll beat it eventually.
So much Sag. Either way, let's continue. Let's go.
Works. That's the point. You go in there, you gather that data, and then you finally beat them. That is the point of these games. The whole point is for them to be extremely challenging. I do think that people complaining about the Shadow of Erdtree DLC should get good. By which I mean just pay attention to the things the game gives you that can make it way easier. That's not to say you're not allowed to complain, okay? We are also really weird. I'm already tangenting inside my tangent. We are really weird about acting like From some games can't be criticized. They are immune to criticism. Like, you are allowed to complain about finding it too hard or feeling like a certain boss isn't balanced or feeling like a hitbox is, like, you can complain about those things and be valid. Stop acting like any criticism of a FromSoft game makes you a fake gamer. First tangent.
Honestly, I would agree with her, but there's one problem. Dark Souls 2 exists, and I criticize the shit out of that game.
Dark Souls 2 is good besides the clunky ass controls.
Oh no, so the thing is this, the way I rate it is this, if you consider Dark Souls 2 to be like the worst game FromSoft has made, that's still like a really good game. Like, I'm not joshing Dark Souls as being a bad game. Even though Dark Souls 2 doesn't live up to the rest of the Dark Souls series, I would still play Dark Souls 2 rather than playing fucking like Suicide Squad Killers Justice League. I'd play Dark Souls 2 4 times over before I played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Honestly, I'd say the early stuff, the stuff that, okay, controversial take. Take.
Got it.
So From Software games, have any of you played Armored Core?
No, but I want to.
Okay. Pause on that. I have played the most of the series. I have played The Last Raven. I have played Armored Core 5. I have played Armored Core 4. I played Armored Core 4 on stream. I have played Armored Core 3. And I finished Armored Core on stream. I
Those
love
count
Armored
as
Core.
from software games, you know.
I it's not that it's just okay, let me nerd out about Armored Core, bitch. Damn it. I fucking love that shit, man. Like if you were an Armored Core right now, I drink your blood. I drink your blood.
Really?
That's that.
What about?
You know what? I even in Kiki way, I'd still drink an Armored Core.
What about Demon Souls? How does that hold up to the rest of them?
I'm gonna be honest. I have not played the Demon Souls.
Demon Souls was the first.
Also,
was like the first Souls game they made, I think.
Also, apparently I had to yell at Voister for not starting a stream already. Yell at Voister, blah!
Oh my god. Rep. I did just for you. Just for you.
Okay.
Demon Souls is probably their... It was alright. But it was really high. It had high difficulty. It was, you know... made by Miyazaki. As I said, it's like the first game, and it was known for its difficulty. If you look back on it now, it's still kind of seen as easy, I guess, is what I'd put it, since they just keep getting harder every single time. My issue with it is not difficulty, but with the DLC, what complaint I've seen that people have had is that the bosses are so big that targeting specific parts, like the auto aim is fucky. Like the tracking is bad. And I see that as a legitimate thing because that is not a difficulty slider. That is a design flaw.
Yes.
They could make it to where you could target several different areas, like if you're fighting a giant.
Let me target the toe.
Make it to where it's just better. Just make that better, and the DLC would be fine.
We want toe targeting.
They got such negative backlash, they nerfed it all. And I'm like,
I think the problem. I think the problem with what they did was this: they got a bunch of negative backlash, and I also think it's a bit of the people who came in. So there's a bunch of people that came in with Elden Ring, thought their new game plus 7 gear was just gonna easily get them through the game, but then they realized, oh shit, Miyazaki developed this. And then they all collectively got their shit kicked out of them because Miyazaki will kill you. That's my there's one saying I have in my household: when you play any sort of Souls game, Miyazaki's intent is to kill you. Doesn't show mercy, especially if you're playing Sekiro.
Oh man, I love that game. I also feel like a lot of people who were really excited for this game are people who haven't played Elden Ring for months, if not years. They finished it when the game came out, haven't touched it until this DLC. They didn't do any preparing, and then they're trying to speedrun the DLC to touch every single boss as fast as they can. Yeah, of course you're kind of going to get your shit kicked in.
Oh yeah.
I have heard some very legitimate complaints about, I think it's the last 2 bosses, having really bad particle effects and not being able to see moves, like actually genuinely not being able to see attacks coming in and just getting insta-killed.
It's like a Final Fantasy treatment where it's there's so much going on, you can't actually see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that there's really, really bad particle effects on at least 2 bosses, which that's a genuine complaint.
That's fair. Well, let's say we continue on.
Completed. I apologize. Back to the video. Course correcting. Patch dropped for the DLC, meaning that this to me would indicate that FromSoft, gonna lean over a little, kind of agrees with the criticisms, which is pretty nuts. Miyazaki did say that he wanted Shadow of the Erdtree to be the hardest thing they ever made, and it seems like that worked very well. People are finding it extremely difficult.
I kind of want to pause here because it's not that I don't think Miyazaki agrees with the criticism. I think it's one of those things of they kind of had to do something, but at the same time, it's not like most of Elden Ring or other FromSoft games didn't get updates and didn't nerf specific things. They're acting like a nerf is the end of the world when I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of bosses that got nerfed. I mean, remember Radon when that came out? Radon, everyone was getting murdered by Radon to the point they nerfed him.
Yeah. Didn't they nerf him 2 times?
They
nerfed him a few times.
They nerfed him a few times. I killed Radon when it came out, so I remember Radon. Radon was a fucking evil bastard. But damn, like when it comes to the FromSoft games, they're not immune to nerfs. They never were.
No.
Like it's fine for them to be nerfed and all that stuff. It's just one of those things of it. I don't think it's because of the criticism, if that makes sense. It's kind of normal. It's hard, and they still complaining. Yeah, they're still complaining because it's a hard game, but I think it's a bit of the community's fault in a weird way. Not entirely, but a decent chunk.
I feel like this is a multi-layered issue
It is.
because Elden Ring is one of the first Souls game to go insanely public. Like Dark Souls 3 was huge, Sekiro is huge, most Soul games are huge,
Mm-hmm.
but Elden Ring breached the barrier of keeping it within the fan base. Because like for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, Dark Souls 3, yeah, it touched a little bit of people who weren't in the fan base, but Elden Ring, almost everyone in this entire gaming space has either played it once
Uh-huh.
or at least heard about it a lot.
The game nearly outsold Call of Duty.
Yes, it is absolutely insane. And because of that, you got people who aren't normally playing Souls game playing this game and talking about that. It's hard. And of
Oh
course it
yeah.
is. And I feel like they are also influencing decisions that are being
Mm,
made. And I think that is both a good thing and a bad thing.
I think another thing is this is one thing I want to tie back to what we were talking about earlier for sure before Blackburn you got here. We were talking about like movie style games like the God of Wars, Spider-Mans, Detroit Become Humans. Is how I
Yeah.
categorize games like those, or I categorize them as movie games, like action movie games where you're basically just playing through the story, and then like point and click games, which are basically just story movies that you get to click and choose and change the story as it goes. Wow.
Yeah.
I consider Elden Ring to be the exact opposite. It's a gamey game. Like you play this as a game. You're talking about builds, movements, actions. It's basically just a game. Like it's as pure a game as you can get games. But the problem is this: the movie games are so heavily like they're promoted the most. They are like out there the most. Like Call of Duty, I consider it somewhat basically just an action movie game in a weird way. But
Oh, 100%.
with all those games, with all the movie style games, quote unquote, movie style games being the most prominent, I think it's actually done a bit of harm to gaming because, in my opinion, you don't think with those games. You press buttons, you get through it, and Call of Duty, you just mow down the enemies and get through the thing. You have to think in Elden Ring. You don't think in Call of Duty. You don't think in God of War. You don't think in Spider-Man. You just use the gadgets you get, and sometimes you mix and match them. In Elden Ring, I have to think, oh my gosh, this boss is immune to magic. Is there something in my arsenal that I can use to kill him that isn't magic-based? Or do I just use a different type of magic to kill him? Or should I try maybe sneaking up on this if I can? Or this, that, and the other. Like Elden Ring makes you think about how to approach things, how to do things. Do I need this certain armor? Am I going the right way? Am I finding the right dungeon? Did I find a dungeon I never thought I'd find? Like, the movie style games are so handholdy, I think it's caused people to be like, oh my gosh, this game's not holding my hand, I'm freaking out, I'm gonna die! You know?
Yeah, that's genuinely the case. Especially when you're playing a game like this. I think specifically Call of Duty, because Call of Duty again is one of those games that damn near everyone has.
Mm-hmm.
That game
I have like
has
4.
Yeah. And this goes all the way back to the beginning of COD, which
Yeah.
necessarily isn't a bad thing. It's just
Motherfucker.
by and large how it is. And there is next to no self-discovery. It is once you level up, they're like, oh, here's all the things you can use now. Oh, now you're level 2, here's all these new things you can use. You're level
Yep.
3, here's more things.
Yep.
Oh, you just did X, Y, and Z. Now here's a camo that you can put on this, and this. There's no self-discovery. It's all you meet criteria, the game tells you, and how to use it.
I'm gonna be honest, I think the only one that actually broke that mold was Black Ops 2.
I could see that.
Because you had separate story options you could go through, you can change loads as you went on. There were secrets to find, intel to grab, and choices you had to make. I honestly think it made you think more than the rest of the Call of Duties, and in my opinion, they have not matched Black Ops 2's either hype or like general gameplay aesthetic since they haven't captured that magic since. Like I think they got
Yeah.
somewhat close to Cold War, and the reason I'm a little excited for the next one is because it's Treyarch. They're adding the stuff I've wanted to see for in Cold War to Call of Duty again, and I'm hoping they have a decent enough story to make me want to come back.
Yeah. I saw the movement
Uh-huh.
trailer, and I really like what I saw when I was looking at like the different movement options. It
Oh
looks
hell yeah.
really really good.
Also, hi sexy panda, how's it going? Hello. Also, Blackbear, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'd say things have gotten pretty hand-holdy. The thing is,
Hand
the
holdy,
immersive
ooh,
sim
ooh.
genre is pretty
Did I just say
good
that?
about
Ew.
replayability, such as Prey.
Oh
I'm always
yeah.
gonna sing the praises of Prey 2017. It
I
you can
finished
either
that.
you can kill all the humans, you can spare all the humans, you can go a little bit in between, you can play it without alien powers, you can play with alien powers,
Mm-hmm.
and the consequences with that. You can hack machines. Like say the problem of the locked door. You
Yes.
can hack it directly. You can find a key card. You can damage the electronics holding the door shut. You
Mm-hmm.
can have an upgrade that allows you to literally rip the door open once it's not powered.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a hatch to get to the next area. You can mimic a coffee cup and slide in through a small
Slide into those
hole.
DMs, bitches.
Or another thing, a turret. Say that there's an enemy in front of you. You can shoot it with bullets. You can blow it up with psychic powers. You can blow it up with explosives. You can recycle it into parts. You can put down a turret and shoot it using an automated turret. You can chuck a I don't know. You can chuck a couch at it if you want. If you're
Don't
into
chuck
that sort
Mr.
of thing.
Couch. I like my couch. It's a good couch. Don't chuck the couch. Stop chucking
You
couches.
can pretzel it with gravity. You can set it on fire. You can electrocute it. You can levitate it, which I guess that ties into gravity. There are so many ways that you can play that
Mm-hmm.
game, and it all depends on what you want. And not just that, but the DLC itself, Moon Crash, is another way of that because it gains variation on it. You can have areas where there's radioactive waste. You can have areas where there's electricity.
Mm-hmm.
There are games like that, but they are far and few between nowadays.
You know, that's fair. Also, I just realized we're only 3 minutes into the 17-minute video, and I'm gonna be honest, I may not get to the other videos. Yeah,
Well, the
let's
thing
just
is, this one that we have is kind of just saying what we're already saying.
in a weird way, yeah. I say we continue on until we actually get to something we might actually want to talk about.
Okay.
And people who have been a long time FromSoft fan, that was the intention. I mean, it would have been crazy to let you just like finish Elden Ring and then just continue as though you were still playing Elden Ring. Like they did have to up the difficulty for the DLC to even justify its own existence, in my opinion. But basically, attack and damage negation curve scaling of the Shadow Realm blessings have been revised. The attack and damage negation has been increased for the first half of the maximum amount of blessing enhancements, and the second half will now be more gradual. The attack and damage negation granted by the final level of blessing enhancements has been slightly increased. So again, I take this to mean that they like kind of agree, and they were like, "Oh, we maybe did make this too hard." Okay, how bad? Which is super interesting. But there are things about this that, oh my god, I have so many opinions. This video is gonna turn out so messy. First, Shadow of the Erd Tree tells you what you need to do to get good. And I think really it just requires patience. You may be familiar with scatter tree fragments. I'll keep this quick in case you literally are familiar, but basically, this is effectively a means of an accessibility feature that exists inside of Shadow of the Erd Tree because it is optional, and I love that they've done this. So, Scatter Tree Fragment is a new upgrade material in Elden Ring, debuting in the Shadow of Erd Tree DLC. Scatter Tree Fragments are optional consumables that can be used to enhance simultaneously offensive and defensive capabilities at any sites of grace, acting like a permanent boost to your DLC damage dealt and damage negation. Basically, you go find these things, they will make you stronger in the game. If you are having trouble with a certain boss, you literally just have to go find these things. They are made solely for the DLC. They only work in the DLC. They do not work in the base game. They are there specifically for players who are having trouble with any bosses that are already there, which is totally fine, by the way. You're allowed to have trouble with Elden Ring. You're allowed to find it hard. But they have been put in the game to give you that option. I love that they make this stuff optional. That it's like, yes, you have to go through effort to be able to do this. And in theory, you need to look up a walkthrough to find the locations of them. But I love that it's like a thing that is available to all players who are having trouble. Leave the boss. Coolest thing about Elden Ring, where is concerned, when new players to FromSoft games are concerned, is that you could just leave at any time. Go find these. The DLC will become easier for you. That is, they put it in there for you, and I just feel like maybe a lot of people have missed it, which I guess is like part of also the design of Elden Ring, right? Is like, FromSoft games don't over-explain anything to you. But yeah, I'm finding this stuff very funny. These games are hard. We should be allowed to criticize things we don't like about them. They're not immune to criticism. I do feel like Shadow of the Erdtree literally has told you the thing that you can do to make it easier. But same time, them patching it would imply to me that they're also like, maybe a bit much, which is funny. I'm not telling you to get good.
I think it's
I'm
a bit of
telling
a
you
reach,
to
but
use
that's me.
all of the features available to you to cater your experience, which is the coolest thing about accessibility.
I think it's more nuanced
in general.
than them
It
just
is time to
being
talk about the incredibly cool.
I'm not doing a fucking ad for you. I'm sorry.
Accessibility. I'm not actually asking for an easy mode. That isn't the intent. Here's the thing I want to spell out where accessibility is concerned. People who are disabled, I felt myself doing it, I'm going to do it, is another tangent. There are also multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned.
I mean, yeah.
There are long-term disabilities, there are situational disabilities, there are temporary disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old.
What?
Okay.
So what? What?
Yeah, children. Yeah, sure.
What?
Fucking idiot! You should have known that children are a
Whoa,
liability.
no,
I
no,
guess.
no.
What the hell is?
No. I need to do a playback real
What are
quick.
they
Give me a
smoking?
second. Give me a second. Playback.
There are situational disabilities, there are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause.
Yeah, you can't pause. Maybe just take the L and go fucking tend to your kid. Are you kidding me? What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay, mom. Let's
So-
go ahead. Yeah,
so-
I have the multiplayer pause button here.
No, reptile, no, no.
Oh
my.
God. Is she making the? I would hate if like I was like 5 years old and I was like I just fucking stabbed myself and my mom is too busy trying to beat Melania to come and look at me. Like, are you kidding me? What the fuck is your point?
It's called
Take
having
the L.
self-control. What the? This person doesn't seem to understand that.
Gosh. Freaking just playing. You see the Bob playing Elden Ring. Mom, I stabbed myself. Shut up, Ellie. I'm playing Elden Ring. I'm trying to beat Moog, the Bloodlord. I'm bleeding right now.
Like,
Mogwin, the bloodiest of lords.
That's actually insane. If you're in the middle of a fight and your child needs attention, put down the controller. Just
take the L.
die.
You can come back and get the souls. And besides, my problem isn't that. My problem is you describe them as a fucking disability.
That's crazy.
That is actually unhinged.
That is so fucked. God. Not based. Bad reptile. Go to the fucking timeout corner. Children are not okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. If this is like the mothers of the future, and this isn't like getting mean or anything, like generalizing, but if this is like a freaking a mother in the future, no wonder the next generation is so fucked.
Yikes. Yeah.
Like
we are the next. We're still kind of the next. Wait, what?
We're not. I'm talking about
the age of that individual.
Yeah.
And you tell me.
And if that's the individual raising a child, we are all fucking boned.
Yeah, but they're similar age to us. What?
Don't matter. We're still fucking
what do you mean
boned.
Next generation. The next generation is the tablet generation.
Yeah, the next generation.
Didn't you? Last time I was at the science center and they were doing dev and they were developers. I was watching these children, these absolute sad children.
Oh shit! Are they shooting
up
fireworks?
And try and touch the monitors. Yes, they're shooting fireworks. It's the 4th of July in 2 days.
That's fair. Will be Sigma at just comes out wearing glasses.
Oh my god.
Oh
yeah,
god.
you just go take care of your children. You stop playing the game because you have self-control.
My kids make me disabled in
All
video
right.
games. Yeah, that's
Next point.
crazy.
Next point.
Yeah,
We're gonna be
let's.
here for 15,000 years.
We're gonna
Next point.
criticize
Anyone
her
else have
forever.
anything
That
to
is a
say?
situation.
Real quick.
My only thing is, I take highly offense that you're considering children as disablements for gaming. And honestly, if you consider gaming more important than a disability, like a child, you are very much a failure as a parent. That's the only thing I'm stating right now. Let's continue.
That's insane.
Situational disability that you have, where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause.
Okay,
for
I'm gonna be
example,
honest. If she described it as like a situation where you couldn't like pause and not described it as a disability, I don't think we'd be having this. I think the way she describes it as a disability makes it worse. Like taking out of context, say she never said the word disability, and she's like, say like your kids that and you can't pause. That's the one thing bothering me with. Like actually, even then, I don't. Even then, why would you try to make it easier? Like you what's there to make easier because of that? Like what? Like how does that stop? How does that enable? What? The
Well,
logic is lost
there's
on me on this
also-
one.
I don't know. I feel like that's rage bait. I'll be honest. That's way too.
I'm gonna be
way
honest.
too fucking psycho just to say with your chest and have that being your genuine opinion. In all honesty, that feels like rage bait.
Well, maybe, but keep in mind she's also a game developer. But at the same time, I've seen I don't know. It's just maybe it's the way they describe it in game development. I don't know. All I know is that is an incredibly fucked up take right there. But let's continue.
is a hindrance for your particular disability.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
situational
Alan, no! No! I'm gonna go inform both my boys they make me disabled video game. No!
Yeah, you're not born to play video games, all right?
Oh
You're
my
born to
g-
dilly-dally and you're forced to lock in.
Oh my
Okay?
gosh, that's awful. Gosh, holy crap! You know this hurts my soul. Let's continue.
disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket, a power outlet. In Australia, we call power outlets PowerPoints, but when I moved to the US, I got bullied for that because people thought that I was referring to like a PowerPoint slideshow. So
That's fair.
trying to get that one out of my vocab. And there are temporary disabilities. You break your wrist, you sprain your wrist, you temporarily have trouble playing video games. You would need.
I'm gonna be honest. I even think playing with like a broken wrist, you could still play Elden Ring. I've seen people play it with their fucking mouths and beat the game like no death style.
Yeah, I mean this one can be simply summed up by maybe don't play the game until your injury is no longer there. So I don't know. Another rage bait post in my opinion.
Damn it, Ella, you're making me cough.
My son said it's my fault for playing
Oh my
video games. That's amazing. That's so funny.
Everyone go follow Ella right now. If you don't, I'll be very sad. She is the best doggo, and I will be collabing with her on Thursday, which is also 4th of July, so I hope everyone has a great celebration. Let's continue.
Need something to help you press certain buttons if you're playing Elden Ring. The third one, long-term, people who have long-term disabilities. That I do. I have tendonitis in both of my wrists from playing too many video games. Unironically, that is a thing, from tapping too much. That means any rapid button mashing in any game, I'm going to have a lot of trouble with unless there are accessibility options to prevent that. It's part of what I worked on God of War Ragnarok. That's part of why I made an accessibility award show to like highlight this particular thing is like I have a lot of trouble with fighting games. I have a lot of trouble with any game that's really button mashy. If there are too many button prompts, I'm going to be in pain and have to like ice my wrist afterwards and not really be able to play it. And here's the thing about
small tangent. Just
that's kind of a you problem.
also,
I'm just gonna say that you didn't have that happen in an accident. How did you got tendonitis?
tendonitis.
That's treatable if memory serves.
Well, not only that, but
So-
isn't that like isn't tendonitis? Isn't tendonitis?
Tendonitis, not
Tendonitis.
tinnitus. You
Okay, because I was trying to make sure I heard it correctly. Because like tinnitus is like where the ring in the ear, not being able to hear that well, versus tendonitis where it's like hard to move and shit.
Well, it's like carpal tunnel, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
caused by repeated movements.
That's fair.
from my knowledge, it is not only A, preventable, B, treatable, and then C, you can take pain medication for it.
That's fair.
So, and if it's really that bad, maybe let's not be playing fighting games that have us button spamming. I don't know.
Long time. Not going to blame the game. Yeah, that's a fair point, Ella. My entire hand gets fucked from gaming a long time. Not gonna blame that on the game though. That's just
Yeah.
you. Let's continue.
Accessibility in Elden Ring, where any of those things are concerned. I think there's a misunderstanding that people think disabled gamers, whoever else, want an easy mode. This is not the case. It's that the appeal of Elden Ring being really fucking hard is also appealing to people with disabilities. They too want to play the extremely hard game that is very hard for them to beat. They're not asking you to give them an easy mode and make it easy for them to get through. They're asking for a version of the game that can be played with their particular disabilities. So they can still.
Okay, one thing I'm nitpicking on, but one thing that does concern me is how she puts it, a version of the game. You don't need to make an entirely new version of the game to make it accessible. If someone doesn't have a hand and they have a specific controller for one-handed people, make control settings that can be programmed so they can use it on that one-handed controller. If someone is like, fucking like colorblind, add a colorblind function. You don't have to make an entirely another version of the game that's specifically designed for disabled people. You just have to add more options.
Yeah, well, I also think, at least when I find out on like Twitter or like TikTok that somebody beat Elden Ring at its base difficulty with a disability, I am far more impressed at that person's skill than I am when I beat Elden Ring. I'm like, holy shit, they have one hand and was able to tongue punch their mouse to win Elden Ring? That's insane. Like, that's good on them. Like, Jesus. You know what I mean?
They must have great ton of action.
I don't know. When I see that, I'm just like, that
moment.
is way more skillful than me
Hell yeah.
just doing what I'm doing.
Like, me pressing a button and beating a boss, that's not impressive. Them using their tongue to press buttons to literally jump, dive, dodge, and then kill a boss that I was having trouble with on like the first try. God tier, you know?
Yeah, or like the people who have like played it with a banana, like that type of shit is.
Oh yeah. Someone who
truly
plays
insane.
like the people who play it with freaking Guitar Hero guitars. Like,
Dude.
like I'm sorry, but like, I don't think you have a leg on to stand on about Elden Ring isn't able for people to be like who are disabled to play it when you have programmable controls. I don't think they have a colorblind function. I think that is one thing they could add. But other than that, like, they're very accessible. Like, you don't need to make an entirely new version of the game for that.
Yeah.
I also have degenerate problems, and it's up to me to keep that in check. If I feel I can't play a game, I just watch people who can play the game. Like, the thing is this, though. Say, wait, degenerate problem. What type of games are you watching?
I think we all know those Steam games that keep popping up every once in a while.
To be fair, I think I've seen a few of her streams, and let's just say, oof.
Oh, I gotta investigate. Hold on. Excuse me.
Honey Pop. You know what? Understandable. Understandable. Who playing the banana? I think a lot of people actually use the banana. Bunny Garden is goated. Shut up. I haven't played it. I don't know. I haven't even seen it. I don't know anything about it.
Rep, by the way, I would love to watch someone beat Elden Ring with their skin flute. That would be legendary.
I'd actually pay
That
to
would
see
be
that.
fucking legendary.
I'd pay to see that. Well, I'd say we continue. Let's see what she goes on for this.
Still enjoy really hard games as well. The complications with this conversation arise, I think, with Elden Ring specifically. Like, there are so many people who just dismiss it as like, shut up, who cares about you, you're disabled, which, fuck off. Second, People just
yeah.
assuming they're asking for easy mode, and that's not the case. It's not an easy. It's not even less difficulty. It's more options. But third is
Wait,
it's not an easy. It's not even less difficulty. It's more options.
is she asking for more options or an easy mode right there? I feel like I may have heard that wrong.
I don't know. I think she's trying to say that people are too busy assuming that they're asking for an easy mode when they're just asking for more options. But she's not describing the options she wants. Like, what option? Like, because she talked about her tendinitis. What option would you have Elden Ring add that doesn't have button spam? I.e., the game already doesn't have button spam. If you're spamming buttons,
Yeah.
you die.
Well,
Just
not
like full stop.
well that, but also what else was I thinking? It was well, the reason I think people assume that is because a lot of game journals advocate for putting easy modes in Souls-like games just because they want to get through it easier. Honestly, I'm not even convinced to actually play the game. I just think they try to get through it as easy as possible, write a review, and put their thing out saying they did something.
Yeah.
But I think that's why everyone assumes that, if that makes sense, because there's such a heaviness and people wanting, like, at least journalists really wanting easy modes, that it kind of takes away from the charm of Elden Ring. Because let's be honest, one of the charms is just the difficulty. The bosses are cool and all that stuff, but the charm is like everyone has a challenge to beat. But if everyone could just turn down the difficulty, it wouldn't mean as much.
But yeah, I
Like, who celebrated when everyone beat Radagon? Like, when you beat Radagon in that fight, like, you were like, yes, I did it. That was great. Now you have an easy mode. And then you beat it on the hardest difficulty, and then someone else comes out and beats it on the easy mode. Like, yeah, I did it. That's not the same.
So the reason why Elden Ring is so culturally relevant, and the reason why I can look at you and say, dude, I beat Millennia on my 5th try, and that has weight to you, is because we're all playing the same game.
Yeah.
We're all playing the same game with the same values, and yeah, they may tweak them, they may fix some things, but we all understand that, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to tell me, oh, I beat Godfrey first try, I'm like, holy shit, that's impressive, because we
That's
all
impressive.
played the same game,
Yeah.
right? And if they have this mode for this person, 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 then when I hear you say, "Oh, I beat fucking I don't know, I beat fucking Godric the Grafted 3rd try,"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like,
Yeah.
for me, that took 15. Like,
Yeah.
were you really good, or like, what was your game settings?
For my build,
there's
it
just
was like
more
easy. For my build, it was like easy. For other builds, it was difficult. Like, I struggled with the Moon Princess. I
Yeah.
basically one shot, like, what was their name? I basically one shot some of the dragons because that was just easy for me as a magic build. But for the Moon Veil, like Scholar Lady, she was a bitch to deal with.
Renala,
You
yeah.
say Moon. What the hell is Moonveil Scholar Lady? Ray Lucaria Scholar Lady.
Yes.
Gott im Himmel sei. Gott
Dude,
im Himmel.
it's been like so long since I played fucking like Elden Ring. I'm sorry.
Get cheap mods, change some values. Yeah, you can do that. That's extremely
you-
easy.
Either way, let's continue. I'm just pointing that out.
But third is the unique challenge with FromSoft games of completing them being such a point of pride. They intentionally make these games difficult. Like I already said, this is an established ethos of these games. They are intentionally very difficult. Elden Ring is the broadest, the most open. You can use summons if you want to. If you want it to be harder, you don't have to. You can approach it with as much or as little assistance as you want, and you have still completed the game. Controversial, I know, but yes, if you use summons, you've still finished the game. I don't care how you play it. Do whatever you want. But it's also just that whole culture of beating a FromSoft game is such a point of pride for people. And how do you avoid taking away that point of pride? That is one-to-one with their design ethos. It is making you feel a sense of accomplishment for overcoming something very difficult. It's a feeling humans love. You get a sense of accomplishment. You feel like you did something of value. Humans love that. And Elden Ring's like that in video games on crack. Like, if I feel a sense of accomplishment every time I get an achievement because I collected 50 Who's-a Whatsits, it is like triple when I beat a...
Question: can we get an item in Elden Ring that's called the Who's a What's It?
I'd love that.
I would
That's
love that.
crazy.
Can we get that, please? Can someone mod that in? Thank you.
Boss in a FromSoft
Ain't
game. There are
MacGuffin.
bosses in Sekiro where I beat them and I like threw my hands up in the air and screamed. There are so few other games that have that effect. And that's a feeling that I do think everybody should be able to have catered to their own accessibility needs. Here's my pitch, okay? Hear me out, the internet. Here's my pitch for fixing the problems surrounding Elden Ring or FromSoft games in general being so like just the discourse being so hotly contested. Like it's like I've been making fun of people this week for saying that if you played with someone you didn't finish the game, that you cheated, even though it's a mechanic that's right there. It's literally intentionally there. It would be like saying you didn't beat Shadow of the Erd Tree because you used the scatter tree fragments. It's nonsense. They're in the Miyazaki put them in the game. It's cool that we can adopt them or not adopt them based on how we want to experience the thing or the unique challenges that we have because we're all fucking different people, right? Here's my pitch, okay, gamers? Hear me out. I haven't had this conversation with anyone, so I don't know how many holes there are, but this is my thought. What if, for every game that you finish, but especially for FromSoft games, there were an ending title screen that you could screenshot and you could share very easily that details exactly how you finish the game? Are people going to reply to each other who share that and be toxic about it? Yeah, people are going to.
Why would you suggest this as a solution when I think it'd make that problem that you are trying to fix so much worse? Because let's be honest, if you finish a FromSoft game and it tells you exactly how you played it, and you got to compare to other people how you finished the game, oh my gosh.
You'd get bullied off the internet.
You'd get bullied. You'd get bullied. Specifically, you would get bullied. It'd be so much worse than what it is right now.
And I don't think they should be bullied, but imagine, like, you having a conversation with, like, the biggest, like, FromSoft fanboy ever, and they went through it completely without any armor or without any weapons. They blasted the game, and now you're in a conversation, and they ask for your screenshot of how you beat Elden Ring, and it's like, you used magic, you used summons, you had the damage decreased because you wanted to disable
you wore armor
disability settings, you wore armor, you did all this stuff. You'd actually, and I don't think you should get bullied, but that's what would happen, because people would be like, well, show me your screenshot of how you won. Like,
those is rough, and that would be very bad. That's my thing. Like, I'm starting to agree with Voicer. This may just be like a trollish post. Because let's be honest, saying kids are disabilities, fucking like saying we don't want easy mode, we want disability implementation, even though there's a bunch of disabled people who've already beaten Elden Ring, which is very impressive, by the way. But like, I'm starting to think this is a troll video more than anything else, and I'm not sure if it is. It's either rage bait or this person's actually delusional. Because I never discount that fact that people can actually be delusional. I've seen PlayStation fanboys literally threaten to blow up PlayStation headquarters. So at this point, I'm honestly consider that either, if you have a bad take, sometimes either you're just delusional or you're just rage baiting half the time. There's usually one or the other.
Yeah, very, very likely.
Also, go follow Blackburn. If you don't, I will kick Voice.
Oh, what?
What the hell? Friendly fire. Oh
yes,
my gosh.
Friendly fire.
I better come follow me. Oh my.
Gotta come follow him. Do it.
I'm just chilling and it's like, you're gonna get kicked, bastard.
Kick Voice. Dude, god dang, Riptide. What the hell? I'm not kicking him.
He just wants to play For Honor. I don't blame him.
Oh, that's understandable. Why is everyone saying do it? Holy shit. They're being mean to you, dude. I'm so sorry.
Because after I'm done here, I'm playing For Honor, and they're fucking foaming at the mouth.
Oh, they're foaming at the mouth?
Yeah.
Right, how many DMs are you getting right now?
Let me check. I have OBS up, so my DMs are muted. I got 4 from Rep exclusively. That's very funny.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Let's finish the video, then you can get out of here.
That's all good.
Like, you summons, you died, and beat summons every to give me how many. Yeah, people are gonna be dicks. But I feel like it would maybe prevent some of the extra accessibility specific gatekeeping. Like all of these people who are vehemently against accessibility options, which is really, again, just in-game customization options. No one's asking for less or more damage, but like less button presses or there's a large list of things that can make it easier for disabled players to play a really hard game and still have it feel really hard, but still be able to play it, you know? But what if you get just a screen at the end with the credits that shows exactly how you played it or what options you had on or off? In my head, this would alleviate a lot of that discourse. People are saying like no accessibility whatsoever because I want to be able to play Elden Ring the exact way that I want to be able to play it. And I feel like those people are shooting themselves in the foot because what if they get one of those temporary, situational, or short-term disabilities? You break your wrist, you're not going to be able to play Elden Ring. You have a kid, suddenly you can't play Elden Ring. Like,
oh
I
my
feel like
god, she's doubling down on the kid shit.
All
Oh
right.
my god.
So she's saying, what if you stumble into this? All right, if I have a kid and that's
Uh-huh.
impacting my ability to play Elden Ring, I'm not going to fucking play Elden Ring. I'm going to take care of my child.
Dude, even if that's the case, just wait till they go to fucking bed.
Yeah, if I break my wrist and that's impacting my ability to play Elden Ring, I'm not gonna fucking play Elden Ring.
Like, if I'm not playing Elden Ring, I'll probably do something else. I can come back to Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's not like a game that has a constant alarm being like, you are not playing Elden Ring. Scheduled termination at your nearest termination office. Like, it's not this big issue that you have to play Elden Ring during
Like,
a break in your wrist. Like,
yeah.
it's asinine. Secondly, there are already like shit to help you out. If you're having trouble with bosses, go fucking
go fuck another one. Go
like,
fuck another boss. You know?
Yeah, go level up some more, or use a mimic tier summon, or summon another player to help you. Like, there are already handicaps to this game that like most people can beat it with the help that is already there.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I genuinely believe everyone can beat this game if they just give themselves some patience and they give themselves some leeway and be like, you know what, I don't have to fight Godric the Grafted at level 21. I can go get up to level 40 and then try again.
Yeah, like what is it? The problem I have is this. I think the movie games have kind of ruined people's like breaking of the mold type thing. No one breaks games anymore.
Yeah.
At least not the ones who aren't actually trying to break the games half the time. Like, if you're playing like, say, Helldivers 2, you're not really gonna break the game that often unless you're actively trying to do it. You know?
Yeah.
With Elden Ring, you have to break the game. Like, they don't mark any of the dungeons on your map. They don't mark where you're supposed to go. They don't mark shit. You gotta go find that shit. I found an invisible wall just because I wanted to hit a mannequin.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of self-discovery that I really like from this game. And subsequent games like Baldur's Gate or very famously Dishonored.
Yeah. Like, I think it's one of those things of like with games that really don't force you to think. When you get to a game like Elden Ring, which forces you to heavily think about what you're doing, I think it's just too much of a shock.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It just feels like purposeful rage bait to try and get the Souls community bent out of shape arbitrarily.
Maybe. Let's continue.
Say it when they don't have disabilities, but in 10 years when you do have some kind of disability, I feel like you're gonna retroactively kind of regret that you were like, absolutely not, don't change anything. I finished Tunic. That game rules and is very hard. And after I finished it, I beat the final boss that you don't even have to, well, spoilers. She was so hard. She was so hard. It took me days. Tunic has an accessibility option.
I'm sorry. My brain went dirty right there. I'm so sorry. I just said it was hard. So she's so hard. She's so hard. It took me days. And I'm just dying. I'm so sorry, Chad.
They're just so hard.
It's
so hard.
That you can use to... It's basically God mode. I think you can prevent all damage. I beat the game without that and felt so accomplished and so proud of myself. And I don't care that that mode is there or that option is there to help other people who still want to experience the game without that. I think that's perfectly fine. But I would have liked just a little something at the end, even an achievement, to give me the credit for doing the hardest fights on what is effectively the hardest in-game possible difficulty because I didn't have those accessibility options on. You know what I mean? That's my thought, basically. Elden Ring is already the most accessible FromSoft game. If you're complaining about Shadow of the Erdtree being too hard, You don't have to play it. You are definitely allowed to criticize them. And I also think you should explore more because you will find another build or another means to make things easier. Like, I think you're being impatient is probably what's happening realistically. This is for people who obviously don't have accessibility problems. But what if, so that we could actually allow disabled players to play these games, which is a thing I care about, you just, at the end of the game, you just get a screen with all your stats. How many times you died, what options you did or did not have on. So people can still brag and still show off, because again, that is clearly a thing people like doing with these games. I just feel like it would solve a lot of this conversation. It's really not about asking Miyazaki, FromSoft, to make the game easier where accessibility is concerned. It's about allowing more people to play it. And sometimes people just need different settings to be able to do that, more customization to be able to do that. Does it make sense? I feel like it makes sense. Basically, yeah, I'm just so surprised that we're in a timeline where literally enough people are complaining about it. Like, all of the games journalists gave it a 10 out of 10, but the Steam reviews, the gamers are the ones saying it's just too damn hard. For any of those people who do not have accessibility specific issues, you just gotta explore more, dude. You can do it. You can do it. I think you're being impatient. I think you can do it. And to the
God,
I'm almost 100% sure this is rage bait, because she goes from one end of simply saying get good, this game isn't for you kind of deal, to the other end of the spectrum being like you need disability settings to make the game easier. It's 100% like rage bait. Like, I don't know, that the fact that they're on one end of the spectrum being like the game's not like the game isn't that hard, you just need to explore more, to then immediately being like make the game easier. That just, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I think it's rage bait mostly because she makes valid points about adding more systems to make it easier for disabled people to actually get into it. But then her solution to like creating new versions, like an easier style mode for disabled people, and then her solution to regular style of that stuff is literally just to, and I quote, turn like fucking add like a specific achievement that shows exactly how you beat the game. And I'm like, you thought people were toxic before about beating Elden Ring. Imagine people being like, oh, I beat it with the maximum amount of armor that I got after grinding these levels. Check out my master weapons. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's fucking, it's BS, you know? That'd make everything worse. You actively would create an entirely new problem by doing that.
Well,
And
you'd also give the toxic fans an avenue to shit on players even more.
Yeah, and not to mention, I'm sorry, but describing kids as disabilities, I think either that was just wrong verbiage, or she's actively trying to get out of people's skins at that point. Because let's be honest, you don't describe children as disabilities unless A, you don't have them, you don't want them, or B, you're just kind of a bitch. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but like describing children with disabilities is just kind of a fucked up thing to do.
It's very silly. It's, yeah, no,
Yeah.
the whole video just feels like it's trying its absolute best to piss people off under the guise of social reform.
Yeah. What do you think, Blackburn?
I'm going to try and keep things terms of service friendly.
As long as I don't get banned, feel free to shoot your shot.
No, just someone might have issues with children, or they might think that we live in a day and age where you don't have self-control. Like, children shouldn't be seen as a disability. Describing that way is just so wrong. And acting like the game, oh, you're gonna lose all your souls? Okay, here's a spot in Caelid where you can shoot a bow and get 26,000 souls within 5 seconds. Because something jumps off a cliff. It's not that hard. There's more time in the world. It all depends on how you value your time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the way she just described it was either rage bait or general.
Rate Sukinat just raided with 5
Hello,
viewers.
Ray. How's it going? Welcome in. How are you doing? We're talking about random stuff. Thank you for the follow.
Sliver
Silver
Sunk Knight
Knights.
just followed.
Welcome. Thank you for the follow. How's it going, Ray? We were just finished a video, talking about why Elden Ring was apparently, too hard and how you need to add like disability stuff, and how apparently children are disabilities now.
That's just the words of some
Welcome to the
nobody on
21st
internet.
century.
Oh God, kill me.
Just the words of some nobody on the internet.
This
It's fine.
it is, but God dang it, I feel like more people believe it than I want to give it credit for.
And that's the internet. People will believe the wackiest things
Yep.
for the wackiest reasons.
They will. And I not shout out Ray. Why is my thing? Oh wait, there it goes. Thank you. Finally, everybody go follow Ray. If you don't, I'll be very sad. Are you driving a car? What the fuck? Oh, he's doing Truck Simulator. Duplicated audio.
Alright, I'm gonna head on out of here, Silence. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, no problem,
Alright,
dude. Thank you for
bye-bye.
being
Nice
here.
Nice seeing you.
Stop
Bye,
shouting
bye,
everybody
bye.
out, at ya.
Alright.
The fuck
Bye-bye.
is it?
Bye.
The fuck? I am so confused. Why? Why? Oh.
What?
I'm hearing so many raid things right now. And I'm
You're
hearing the
gonna
whole
get
I'm
raided.
also hearing the fucking thing you talk. Yeah, fuck it! Thank you for the subscription, tier. Thank you so much, dude.
Is that just a thing of my be right back screen?
You're talking about the whole talk thing. Yeah, your friend's apparently running because of that. The fuck? How did you get away with this?
What?
Seasoning salts.
Oh, oh no! Oh no! That I forgot to get. No, no,
The
no,
fuck was that,
no,
Blackbird?
no. Oh God, Trash Boat made me say that. He gave me a bunch of gifted subs.
Oh no. Okay, that's apparently a thing. Damn. Shit. Oh no, spoilers for Dawn Trail, but it
wait,
took a
was it the
twist.
pro tip? Wait, was it the pro tip?
Yeah, I think it may have been.
Was it
I
the
didn't
pro
hear the
tip?
audio. Please explain. You don't want to
Okay,
know?
so
Trust
have
me.
you ever heard of have you have you ever heard of low tier god?
Wait. Diana, what do you mean you don't hear or see anything?
Okay, good. All right, that thing should be buried. I'm not doing a rendition unless I'm given another gifted sub. I'm not doing a rendition.
Someone give me a gift of the sub and I'll make it happen. Like he
Hey, I
has to say
said
it again.
me give a gifted sub. Sai, you got that simp money already, femboy. Okay.
I need the more something. God dang. It's just a big reactive and size. What are you talking about? Let me check my stream real quick.
We saw the clips, but no audio. Okay. Well, luckily we have been saved. If anyone
thank
heard that, they might not forgive me.
I'm okay. I'm gonna have to fix my clips thing because I don't know why that's not appearing on stream. So funsies, but yeah, that was holy shit. Okay, Yeah, let's go on to the next video I had planned on us, because honestly, I thought we'd get through more of these, but I think we may only get through 2, considering how long these are taking to actually talk about, basically. We saw the clip, but no audio. Thank fucking God. Because, that, I'm pretty sure would have caught me completely fucked. The fact Blackburn got away with it is a mystery.
What do you mean? It's me talking about
It's you about salting your dick and having your fucking, like, friend's sons fucking suck it shit. Like, what the hell?
That was said on Twitch before, by the way.
It doesn't.
Like that wasn't. Have you ever heard of low tier? No. I'm not gonna say this. So someone had me say that because they. You know what? It's okay.
Okay, let's fucking let's go on to the next video, because I want to talk about more gaming shit, and I should probably, I'm not blocking the guy who's currently speaking. I'm just gonna go behind Blackbird.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, it's muted.
There's a couple of things that are really. What do you think of $100 plus games? So there's a couple of things that are really interesting about this. Back in the day, a Super Nintendo game was $69.95. That's how much Secret of Mana cost when it first came out. Let's go pull this up. Inflation calculator. And what year did Secret of Mana launch? August 6, 1993. And we're gonna go from
Wait,
August.
do you know what Secrets of Mana is? Because I have no idea.
Nope.
Okay.
It's an old game.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair.
August 1993, and we'll go to April of 2024. And we're going to say $69.95. If you were to buy that Super Nintendo game today, in today's currency, it'd be $151.47. That would be the cost. Dramatically higher, right? But the reason they were so expensive back then is because of physical distribution. That's the reason. We don't have that anymore.
Actually, let me ask you a question before he continues. What is your thought on game pricing right now?
Well, let's just say I don't agree with a lot of it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think companies should be charging for $70. They should not be charging $70 for games. Reason is, they don't even up the quality of them. They're the same qualities we've been getting. They're just $70 now, and it's like, why? Like, we should probably be getting more for spending another $10 on these games. And with how Ubisoft is treating their games, I'm gonna be honest. Eventually, you're just gonna overprice it to the point no one's gonna buy it. I saw this and I didn't think it's that fair. I didn't think it's a fair comparison. Really? Hey, Blackbird.
Yeah.
I kind of want to bring in Ray to kind of explain that point, because I'm curious about why he thinks that.
I mean, by all means.
Ray, do you want to explain yourself? Because I'm very curious why you think this. Explain yourself. Justify to the imp court. Or is it dog court or imp court? I don't care.
The heck, dog wisdom.
Dog wisdom. I'll sum it up in 2 points. Okay. What are your 2 points of wisdom? But yeah, freaking. Oh yeah, Blackbird, do you have water?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Gotta make sure you got something on you. You gotta keep the thing going, the mouth moving.
Yes.
One, developers are far more skilled and more numerous today. Two, back then when you had to take away more than time to QA/QC because there was no after-fact patches on similar code sets. You know what? I will agree to that. But counterpoint to that, you can update the game, so that defeats one of the points. Because think about it this way: you had to do more Q&A, and that's probably why it was more expensive back then. But that means it gets cheaper, not more expensive as it goes on. And the more numerous means we should still be getting at least somewhat decent quality. But we're getting stuff like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I wouldn't consider that quality, even when you have 1,000 developers working on a game like that. You know? Just because you have numbers, and just because you have to do longer Q&A and stuff, doesn't mean you should be charging its price. It impacts the value proposition, in my point. It does, in fact, impact the value proposition, because with more numerous staff, you could probably have to charge a decently higher thing for this, that, and the other. But the problem is this. I don't even think they're charging for that anymore. I just think they're overcharging. Like, let's be honest. Why did they raise it to $70? Was it because they got more staff? No. They keep laying off their staff in record numbers. And I'm not talking about one company. Most companies are laying off their staff. Is it because they're increasing the quality of the game, making it better? No, we're still getting shit pumped out at record rates. Like you get stuff like Call of Duty, Battlefield 2042. Then you get stuff like Suicide Squad, which I've been mentioning just because of how bad it was, and half the other games that came out that year. Like, last year was literally just a train wreck of, bad AAA games and fantastic... Well, this year's actually been a trek of bad AAA games like the Skull and Bones from Ubisoft, and just really good indie games. It is $60 game, then same quality as a modern $70 game. I'd wager games back then are higher quality on average. That's my pro. The value was better. Because, let's be honest, you had more fun playing the older games than you would this game, the games that are coming out now. And, hell, even with getting rid of, employees, the price should come down at that point. With getting rid of enough employees, you don't have to pay them that much. But even then, you'd still be able to come down with the price. They don't keep down the price. They just keep raising it and raising it. So, yeah. It's just... I think they're just generally overcharging via games. But I'll get to a point to that later, actually. Ow, motherfucker trash boat. Hello. Let's continue.
Oh yeah, the person who made me do the pro tip.
Yeah. Let's continue, though.
You don't have to make a cartridge. You don't have to put it on a store shelf. You don't have to physically ship it. You don't have to do any of that. We have digital distribution. It costs nothing. I have sold tens of thousands of copies of Heartbound, and it has cost us nothing. So when we're looking at this versus that, it doesn't make sense. We can't even make a comparison there. Steam still takes 30%? No, they don't. When I make a Steam key, and that key is for a $10 game, and then I sell that on Humble Bundle, what is the percentage that Steam takes from me? 0%. Steam only takes 30% of the sales you have on the Steam platform. Only on the Steam platform. Further than that, if you have trading cards for your game, which you always do, you make those yourself. Very easy. Whenever one of those sells between one player and another, there's a community market fee. Steam gives the developer the community market fee. That ain't 30%. That's a lot less than 30%. Depending on how you strategize your sales, it's dramatically less than 30%. And Steam does not charge you for the distribution of your patches or the game itself outside of that 30% cut. Isn't that literally pennies, though? No, no. Very funny. So the way that I look at this right now is this doesn't make sense. We live in a time of digital distribution, and the way that I see sales of games is like this. If it's $1, people see it as shovelware. If it's $3, they see it as an arcade game. $5 is a premium.
I'm gonna be honest, usually if I see a game on sale, it's for $1. I at least look at it, just because sometimes it's not always shovelware. I think this is a bit of a subjective area, but I'll let it continue.
Arcade game. $10 is an indie game. $20 is a premium indie game. Anything anywhere from 10 to 20 is a premium indie game. $40 is a day game. $60 is AAA. And anything 70 or above is a scam. That's the general way that people...
I mean, I agree, but holy shit, just flat out saying it, holy crap. I think it's perspective at this point. You know what? Probably. I think it is perspective at this point, but I think the problem I have more than anything is that it's technically right. Like, let's be honest. $5, it's an indie game. $10, decent indie game. 20, as it goes up in price, you expect more and more from it. But $70? What game right now that you have played or have bought has justified the $70 price range rather than a $60 price range? Like, Blackburn, do you have any games that you bought that you thought where it should have been $60 instead of $70?
No, because I've never bought a game over $70.
Really?
Yep.
I guess that's fair. That's fair.
I don't justify the price, and I'll die on that sword.
That's fair.
And the only times I've been given games like that is if it's been gifted to me. And even then, I don't think they're worth the price tag. Like, I'm trying to think of a $70 game that I might have bought, and the only game I can think of is maybe all the DLCs combined for Dead by Daylight, maybe. And even then, half of those I just use the in-game currency for.
I think it's up to...
So it doesn't even count.
When it hits 61 plus, I start squinting. Yeah, that's fair.
I just
If it
do
ain't,
not
I'll
play.
say it.
It's
So
not worth it.
the only game I think I truly have bought that was $70 that I think should have been $60 was Ghost of Tsushima. Because I like the game and they brought it to PC, but Sony charges $70 now as their average. Which pisses me the fuck off. If it ain't on sale, I ain't want it. That's understandable. I mean, I don't usually buy games unless they're on sale too. But like, when it comes to like certain games, I will go the extra mile just because I think the value is there. But I do that rarely. And I mean rarely. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I got the Elden Ring DLC and I got the freaking Dawn Trail DLC. I would rather buy those twice than I would buy a new Battlefield, basically. Unless I wanted a game, I'll buy it for price. That's fair. But I think this whole, like, how he rates it is subjective. Honestly, I think a really good indie game is around $30. $40 is should be a fantastic indie game. 10 to 20.
No,
Really?
I gotta disagree with you, Sai.
Really?
An indie game with like 5 developers that's been made good will make their money back with $20.
That's fair.
Okay? If you go to 30, they'll be living well off.
Oh yeah.
All right? And if you go above that, it just is ridiculous. Like, for example, I have like 20 clown emotes for my review of RimWorld, basically being like Tynan's greedy. Because Tynan, that game, I mean, he started off by using Prison Architect assets. Like, it was really bare bones, and then it developed from there. He's got millions of dollars, and yet he still charges more and more and more for the DLCs for the expansion packs.
Mm-hmm.
And it just is not, the game doesn't have enough to it. Like, RimWorld doesn't have enough to it to justify that. Like, you have to micromanage that colony, and you get screwed over by RNG. And then you just have a bunch of stuff, and everything takes too much time in that game.
Yeah. Like,
so I'd say, and the thing is, Tynan, I think, made RimWorld, what, $35? So that was already really incredibly expensive, in my opinion, for his small team. He's only made that game. You take AAA titles with hundreds of people on it. Well, if you've got hundreds of people who have bought into it and are playing it, people would rather just a little bit of a business backstory for you is recurring business is how you make money. Battle passes, things that you can just easily squat out to make people make money.
Yeah.
It's easier to just build upon what you have than to make something new. And so for most AAA games now, they would rather just not make anything new than charge $70 for a AAA title. And even then, the AAA titles, they aren't even that good.
I guess that's understandable. My point, like Raze would say, I think at games at $70 price point for me is a point where I don't see them as a splurge. It's a price point where I think I'm going to get a $70 of value out of this. And I'm gonna be honest, as of recently, I don't think anyone's been getting any amount of value from the $70 games.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just not worth it.
on
And so
average,
the only way you can counter that is by not buying from them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even then, the devs won't take that as a hint. They'll take it as, I need to shut down this game studio because it flopped.
yeah,
What happened with Arcane Studios, the people behind Prey, was they made Redfall. Redfall was a multiplayer game, which Arcane is not known for their multiplayer games. They're known for
nope,
Dishonor. They're known for Prey. They're known for like those types
yeah,
of games, stealth, immersive sims. But instead, what they get is they make a 4-player
vampires,
survival shooter, pretty much.
yeah.
And not even a good one at that, because that's not what they were known for. Most people left Arcane because that was the direction that they had to push. So, that being said, where is this $70 price point coming from? Is it coming from, and Redfall, by the way, wasn't Redfall $70 too?
Yeah, I think it was. I think so. I'm not sure.
Where is this coming from? Greed, greedy investors,
I'm
greedy
gonna be honest.
publishers,
I'm gonna be
not
honest.
greedy developers.
I don't even think it's that.
What do you think it is then?
I think it's to fix their fuck ups. I think the $70 price point is not to basically say we're adding value, or it's not because of inflation. I think the $70 price point is there is because as of recently, a lot of games haven't been meeting their price points. Let's take this: Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and a few others. Skull and Bones, like the freaking pirate game by Ubisoft. A few of the Assassin's
It's
Creeds, like
It's Electronics Arts.
Electronic Arts. No,
It's
no, I'm talking
like
about
all these publishers that are greedy. Ubisoft is greedy.
No, yeah, Ubisoft is greedy. But my point is, all of these games that I have mentioned were considered financial failures. They did not make money.
Yeah, because they were trash games that were way too overpriced.
I wouldn't say that about Final Fantasy, and
yeah, I'd say that about Final Fantasy. I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion here, and I'm gonna tell you I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since I was a teen because
thank you for the
there's
follow,
just no
Mashup
sustenance
Bros.
Smash
to them.
underscore or pass just
There's
followed.
not enough there's not enough difference to them for my tastes.
So for me, I will disagree, mostly because I was really excited about it. The only reason I didn't get it is because it was an exclusive to PlayStation 5.
Yeah, and PlayStation 5, I'm not going to buy a Sony product.
Exactly.
That's why I said they're not worth it, Sai.
No,
Is
it's
that
not.
whenever you, first off,
Mhm.
like I hate Sony.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
I
gonna
fully
say
agree.
I hate Sony. I don't like them. I don't like how invasive they are.
It was a tied to the PS5.
And that in of itself makes it terrible. Is that
Yeah.
it's hamstring by being tied to the PS5. Redfall itself wouldn't have been terrible and would have had development put into it if it wasn't forced by Gearbox to make into that genre and it had $70 of a price tag on it. Like,
That's fair.
like if there's so many, imagine, I don't know, imagine someone made a great game. And then several months after it being released, you had to tie it to the PlayStation Network. I wonder what the community's reaction would be to that, and why it would be.
Well, the thing, because the thing I wanted to say, Blackbird, not to cut you off, I just really want to finish the point I was trying to make, is the reason I say this, and I'm pointing out these games is as financial failures, is because as soon as these games financial failures have been reported, you have seen like also the games that never came out. Like apparently PlayStation has canceled around like 12 different live service games they were developing and all this other shit. But all the financial reporting I've seen from a lot of games have been just awful, wasting millions upon millions and millions gone. EA lost $100 million due to that one like magic sorcerer FPS they made. from their new studio they made, and they basically had to shut that studio down because they fucking bombed, basically. But I think they're raising prices to appease the shareholders by saying, hey, even though this game flopped, by raising prices, we still made the money back. And you can see this in the console sales. PlayStation 5, as it's gone on, has gotten more expensive, not less.
Yeah, because
Online services got
because they're
more
relying
expensive.
on whales to use it.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Eventually, I'm gonna say this: if the trend I'm seeing continues of game companies failing and then trying to cover up their failings by raising prices on everything, eventually they're gonna have what I call the Disneyland effect, where you outprice normal people and then you start hurting on money. Because eventually, when you only have whales, whales will eventually not have enough money to keep you afloat. Because they can keep you afloat for a while. I'm not saying they can't keep you afloat. I'm saying they ain't gonna keep you afloat or get you the money you need to increase your revenue as you need to impress your shareholders, as well as a normal, average, everyday Joe who's very happy about a product. Let's take Helldivers, for instance. Before Sony did its thing, everyone had a great game with great content, with a decent price, and you know what happened? That game shot up. It was one of the most, bought games on Steam. Everyone was talking about it. It was going on. It was the talk of the town for so many months. My boss at work played it. Like, everyone knew about this. It wasn't just a small thing. When you give the customer what they want at a decent price, you make more money than you can make from a whale. But if all you're relying on is whales to kind of keep you afloat and trying to look pretty for the shareholders, it's the advent of trying not to take a hit on your revenue and avoiding it causes more damage. And I think that's what's going on, in my opinion. So yeah, that at least that's what's going on in my head. What do you think about that, Blackburn?
Well, you heard my thoughts.
Yeah,
It's just greedy folk.
I think it is greedy folk. It's driven by greed, both prices, points, exclusive status, and crap like the PSN. Yeah, that's fair. Let's continue and see what he thinks about it.
People feel about games that I've seen so far. Like, this is the limit. Anything above that, and people hate you, whether they feel it's worth it or not. The problem is this: the ones saying this, unfortunately, don't matter. As awful as that is, because there's multitudes of people that are just buying the games anyway. An insane number of people that don't take any part in online discourse, don't take any part in talking about $70 game, don't take any part in any of this, and just buy the $100+ copies every time. You will find very quickly that the double down versions of games, instead of the $70 version, the $110 version, you'll find that these ones sell more than these ones almost every time. And if it is a $70 game, it'll likely have MTX in it that will end up making it sell more than this every time. The reason that the business model works this way is because people spend money on it. This is normal business for the games industry, and I reject the shit out of it. Why do you think our game is $10 and it won't have a sequel, and it won't have a prequel, and it won't have chapters, and it won't have DLC, and it won't have microtransactions? That's why it's $10, because I hate this business model. I hate it. I think it's shit, and I don't want to perpetuate it, even if it would make me more money, because it's not good for the industry. So I can't convince people to stop buying games like this. I can just stop selling games in that way and succeed in spite of that. So are sequels bad? No, but if you're making episodic content, it's not good for the game a lot of the times. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're...
What do you think of
Wow, sounds like RimWorld. If only RimWorld was made by Thor. That would be great. I'm so happy that I spent thousands of hours on a game that doesn't give a shit about me.
You sound salty.
I am salty.
I'm
Very annoyed with Titan. I'm never going to be like, ah, yes, this was This was correct.
All right, let's continue.
Base game is $10, and you release a DLC for $5, and then you release a DLC for $5, and you release a DLC for $5. As a player, you bought it for $10, and a new DLC comes out 3 months later. It's only $5, so you buy it, and then another one 3 months later. Well, it's only $5, so you bought it, and then another one 3 months later. It's only $5, so you buy it, right? You just keep doing this. Now, let's say that you tell your friend, hey man, this game is really good. And your friend's like, oh, how much was it? And you're like, oh, it's $10. And your friend goes to look at it and he goes, that's not $10. Now you get a $25 game. So new players are de-incentivized from jumping in. But old players feel like they got good value and they didn't pay that much, except they're both paying the same amount. It's a marketing strategy that preys on your inability to do math or inability to assign value over time. That's the issue. So, like, not a fan of it. Really not a fan of it. If I'm going to release new content for Heartbound, I'm just going to patch it into the game, like I always have. No reason not to. What are your thoughts on expansions then for games? I only like expansions for live service games a lot of the times. Like, I really only like expansions for live service games. I don't like expansions a lot of the time outside of that. I think they're kind of gross. Like, if you're doing a single player game, the only time I'd say an expansion makes sense is like if you're adding another campaign to it. Live service game does make sense for expansions because that ends up being kind of a good deal. But yeah, it's pretty rare that single player games get expansions that make sense. It's pretty rare.
I'm gonna be honest. What do you think about expansions? Because I think they could be good.
It depends on how the price and how much they add. I've just went on a rant about Tynan. What do you think I feel about expansions?
Most of them are shit. But then again, sometimes you get expansions like Cyberpunk's, like, you know, fuck it. What am I blanking on? But you get like Cyberpunk's expansion, which I think is pretty cool. So I think it's like ebb and flows with
Eh.
expansion.
It depends on the company.
I guess that's a
Like,
fair
if there was an
point.
expansion for Helldiver that added in, like, here's an example. Patching it into a game, that's the correct way of doing it. Because if you have a game like Helldivers, and it's constantly... Imagine if the new weapons were all just expansions and microtransactions. Imagine if every new one, the game would die.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, but it all ties back to greed.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
every single point Thor is making, it ties back to the current business model is about making money. I don't think that I should be supporting that industry. So I'm going to do it this way. I think that that's pretty cool of him.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's fair. I say let's continue then.
Yep.
Oh, by the way.
What about the infamous Oblivion Horse Armor DLC? I think it's ass. Like, obviously. Not a fan of that. Risk of Rain? Risk of Rain wasn't an expansion. That was a totally new game. We had Risk of Rain to Risk of Rain 2. It's a completely different video game. That's fine. What about Vampire Survivors? I actually don't like Vampire Survivors. I didn't like the fact that they went from a $3 game and then sold millions of copies and then made it $5. Like, why? Why did they do that? There's no reason for that shit. Makes no sense. Bro gets mad from $2 game to $5 game? Yeah. Do you know why? Because there's no reason for that. If you have a $3 game and it sells millions of copies, and then you change that price to $5, you have a small team that has more money than they'll ever need, and you've changed the price to $5 after it becomes popular. If I took my game that was $10 and I made it $12 after it became popular, would you feel good about that? You'd hate it. Just like I do. It's like, because there's no reason for it. The only time that we ever have to change prices is when there's dramatic shifts in the valuation of individual currencies. Currency exchange rates is the only time we have to raise prices, because sometimes currency exchange rates go crazy, which is exactly what happened with Argentina, right? Like, that sucks. There's nothing we can do about it at that point. Where, like, suddenly, like, a currency just inflates to and is not worth anything anymore. Like, we have to take action. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the only time that I think that's
actually, I want to mention something. So, back to PlayStation. Remember how they fucked over the rest of the world, basically?
With Helldivers?
Yeah, with Helldivers. By requiring the PSN thing, I'm just realizing, did they do local prices? I don't know if they do. Because if they don't do local prices, that means they've costed a bunch of people a pretty penny. And not only did they cost them a pretty penny, they locked them out of the game. Because, like, most currencies, like in Brazil, has a different currency. It costs different to pay for them, that and the other. Like, I'm wondering if they did do like different payments or anything else like that. I'm curious how they did it, if that makes sense. Because I know the way Thor does it is basically like he like lowers it depending on region to make it affordable in those regions. And I'm like, dang, that's smart. But I don't know if any other companies do that.
No, of course not. Why do you think it gets pirated so often?
You know what? I
Why do
think
you think
that's fair.
piracy is such a thing? And that's the thing. Online, you can't say, "Hey, piracy, that's pretty interesting."
That's pretty pog. Are you cringing right now?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. I was just curious because I don't think they do it, but that's the whole thing. Let's continue.
That's the only time, and it's a global finance issue. Yeah, global finances go wacky. Bingo. Price your game in line with the gold standard? No, that's not really how that works. The way that you have to price your game, no matter what, man, is based on people's expendable income. You're making an entertainment piece. That's what that is. It's an entertainment piece. People don't need to buy your game. They don't have to. So you have to price it based on people's expendable income inside of that area. Disposable income is what you're targeting. What about board member bonuses? Gross. Yeah, it's gross. No, you don't have to buy it. I price ours based on a Big Mac. It's about a Big Mac and a half. Yeah.
Mac?
You want people to
Oh,
buy
no, the Big
what is
Mac.
this? You want people to buy your product? Make it affordable. Bingo. Yes. Make it affordable for each region too. Always make it affordable for each region. You have to think about what the economics are of each region that you're selling the game in. And you have to think about specifically how much disposable income people in that region have. Yeah, regional pricing. Always regional pricing. Always. And then you price it appropriately based on that. It's very easy. Just takes a little bit of effort, right? Are you in favor of microtransactions in the game if the game is free? I'm in favor of microtransactions if they are cosmetic in nature and nothing else. There's no reason for it.
Really?
There's no reason for anything else. Cosmetics
Yeah, of
only.
course.
How do you make the art for your game? Shay makes all the art and animation for Harbon. I do the technical art, which is particle effects, shadows, lighting, stuff like that. Sony priced Helldivers to 0 in some reason? No, they didn't price Helldivers to 0 in some regions. They made it unpurchasable in some regions. Those are two very different things. Yeah. No, 0 would be free. Lol, same thing? No, 0 would be free. They
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think that was that video. I think I was just mostly discussing about the pricing one that really got my attention because I'm like, I don't know. I think they price it pretty poorly, and how they keep increasing prices, and I keep hearing rumors that PlayStation wants to actually increase the average game price to $100 and all that stuff. I
Well,
just
yeah, of course. They don't want to bleed you for all you got.
Oh yeah, but the problem is that I see it as a bit of a problem that's gonna implode themselves. Is that in order to prevent a hit, like in order to prevent a financial hit now, they're pushing it down the line, and these keep stacking. Like eventually, you're
thing
just
is,
gonna
we
have to
don't
take
live
the
in
damn
a-
hit.
We don't live in a socialist environment where
Oh, I know.
we don't live in a socialist environment where the price of something is controlled.
Yeah,
Like supply and demand is a lie. Supply and demand is not true because at a certain point people will get so angry that they'll just start stealing it. You see?
you know what? Yeah,
So if you make something so overpriced that only a certain amount of people can get it, people will just start stealing it. Like the
yeah.
supply and demand only works in a utopia, in a place where no one commits crime because nobody needs to commit crime.
I'd say supply and demand does exist, but there's also a factor of
But it doesn't because piracy exists, Sai. People
No.
will just illegally get a game.
No,
if
so
they can't afford it.
No. My thing is supply and demand exists, but they have a caveat of you supply what they demand. So everyone demands a game. They want a good game. They demand the game. You supply that demand. But when your demand or when you supply is like overcharged or like
No,
no.
supply is no. You're silence. You don't get why the price is important in supply and demand economics. Supply when you overcharge something, it creates a sense of scarcity.
Yeah.
You're bottlenecking the actual supply.
Yeah.
There's no actual supply online
Yeah.
because you can just infinitely copy a code. over and
True.
over and over. As long as it exists somewhere, you've got it on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So price is the only way that you create supply and you create a supply. So if you
Mm-hmm.
set it at $70, you're artificially creating scarcity, and everyone realizes that and realizes it's bullshit, which is why they just steal it, which is why they just pirate it.
True.
And I'm not advocating, by the way, I gotta say this, I'm not advocating for piracy,
Oh
but I am
yeah.
advocating for people to be less greedy. Otherwise, guess what? Consequences of your actions
Well,
happen.
my thing is, I don't see this as not being supply and demand. I see it as the supply, like basically demand. The supply basically demanding in a way. My brain's trying to word this correctly. Sorry. The supply basically bottlenecking itself and asking more from the demand, and the demand
Well,
going like, "Hey, we don't want that anymore." The demand decreases as you bottleneck the price. As you do that, the demand goes down, and thus,
that's what
the,
you'd think would happen, but it
but
doesn't because of people who are rich just buying it anyways.
yeah, the people who are rich buy it anyways. And then you have the people who are pirate it, which pirating is usually like what, like a very small percentage, like barely
No, it's
people.
pretty large, just not in America.
It's
It's
like,
pretty large in countries
oh yeah,
where the price is just really, really poor. For example, in China, in Thailand, in India, in
I-
Brazil,
yeah,
in Colombia, in Venezuela, in the I don't know, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is some
mhm.
no. What's the model of America that's over in Africa? I can never remember the name, but they
I
have
think
modeled their
it's
entire system around. Give
RIC
me a
is the
second.
big C in the big C. Yeah, we're talking about piracy and all that stuff. And my thing is, I don't see it as not a supply and demand. I think it's the demand, the supply being so scarce and so like artificially unavailable that people don't see the need in buying it, so they just take. It's not really. It's not saying supply and demand doesn't exist. It's one of those. The supply is basically just bottlenecking, and thus they'd rather steal it than pay for it. So in a weird way, it's like a corruption of supply and demand. That's how I see it. It's like it's a bastardization of supply and demand. You're not supplying it because you don't want to supply it because you're greedy, and the demand doesn't want to give you any money more because you're not supplying it fairly. And when you both do that, you both end up failing. Because when you pirate, the people who are making the game don't get the money they need to make another game. And when you bottleneck the prices too high, you outprice the very customers you're trying to sell it to. In a weird way, by raising prices too much, you fuck over the people who give you the money you need to survive. And by pirating stuff, you still undercut the company you want to support, or at least the games you want to have made. So I think it's really kind of a toxic situation. Blah. But that's how I see it. I think it's like a stabbing in the back for both parties. Like the rich are stabbing you in the back, and then you're stabbing them in the back, and then everyone's just bleeding out dead. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that's not how it works.
How does it?
Because
Wait.
you stab someone who's rich and they've got enough lawyers to make it to where you're in prison for a very long time.
True.
There's no
They stab you.
if
and
someone steals something,
uh-huh.
it really only depends on the society for how much it cares.
Yeah, but that's
And
still harming.
if you can make people not care
Mm-hmm.
or think bad upon something,
Uh-huh.
it's easier to get away with. For example, once again, the way that we've been raised to think is, stealing is wrong.
Yeah. I think stealing is wrong.
I think stealing is wrong too, but then I realized that there's not all good people in the world.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, the story of Robin Hood.
Is stealing
Steal
from the
from
rich.
evil. No, not stealing from the rich. Stealing from evil rich. Remember that in Robin Hood's day, serfs existed.
Yeah.
Slaves, pretty much, that you paid very little and took all of their crops and you got to eat like a king. Robin Hood took from bad people.
Yeah.
Okay? And gave to the people who needed it, the poor, the serfs themselves.
Oh, yeah.
That is in my opinion, a noble cause.
True.
Now, of course, we're talking about video games here.
Yeah,
We're not talking about food, but at the same
Okay.
time, there's more to life than just working and then sleeping and eating.
So,
all right, we live in a day and age where people
Shushian,
want to
if I'm
enjoy
reading,
life.
yeah, Shushian says, I see games as some sort of painting. You buy those paintings to support the artist and help them make more art. And I agree. In a decent like time, that's how it works. The problem is this. The painter is getting so greedy that he's charging you an exorbitant amount of price for one of his simplest paintings. Like it's a red dot on like on a board, basically. Doesn't seem worth the price. And in order to still have the thing that you want, either you'll find a company that has a game similar to that and you just support that, or some people just steal it. And my thing is, to curb the stealing and to actually make a decent profit, and actually more profit than you would probably make than like stealing, you'd have to decrease the price, in my opinion. Like,
what do you mean in your opinion? That's how it works, Sai, is if you want people not to steal, you make it affordable.
you make it affordable.
Another thing, and
I think
that's why people want you to think stealing is wrong. Stealing from people who aren't deserving of it, that's wrong.
I think stealing in general, and at least in my opinion, stealing stuff in general is wrong. But my thing is this. It's easy to justify it, but the moment you're in a situation where, say, I'm not rich, and then people go like, oh, you're rich, because it depends on your point of view. Because some people just believe if you're rich in general, you're an asshole and you need to be stolen from, basically. Like, it's a whole thing.
Well, that's why you're not supposed to see everything in black and white.
Well, yeah,
that's
but
why you need to judge people on a person-to-person basis.
True, but the problem is most people, in my opinion, don't. I don't think most people judge. Well, I think a lot of people judge with a gray view, but a lot of people judge with a very black and white view. And when those people are the ones calling the shots, God help the people who they see as black. That sounded bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh.
What the fuck? What the hell?
Well, I guess I'm getting canceled finally. Holy shit.
Pretty much.
Is it ripoff? I'm just saying when it comes to gaming, I think the executives, and I'm not talking about like the owners of the companies. I'm talking of like the lead directors, the developers. In order to probably save their own skins and the companies they work for, they up the prices of the games when they take a financial hit. And the companies themselves probably up the games on all their stuff to avoid a financial hit. Because the moment they report to the investors that, oh my gosh, that game didn't do well, well, next thing you know, people's heads are on the chopping blocks. Because you just lost the investor money. I honestly think the reason we're in a situation where games are getting as bad as they are is because all the game companies went public. I would have rather than have stayed private. I would have rather that. Because when it comes to investors, they get very antsy about anything. And the moment they lose any sort of money, they freak the hell out. Next thing you know, everyone's pulling out. Next thing you know, the company's in worse shape than ever. I honestly think that, at least the gaming industry-wise, when they went public, like, a bunch of things, like, trading-wise, I honestly think they kind of doomed themselves to, like, in a sense, this kind of path, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I was like, I want to feel sorry for these poor bastards, but at the same time, they kind of brought it upon themselves. So, yeah, that's at least my thoughts on the whole matter. So everyone go follow Blackburn. If you don't, I will throw a Pokeball at you. But honestly, I think we should probably end it here now. I think about it. I gotta do a few things for the night.
Alrighty.
So I say we go raid some. Question is, who do we raid? Question.
Yes, indeed.
Who do we raid? Background, do you have anyone who you know we could raid?
Let's see.
Sona who's like...
What are you feeling? Are you feeling Elden Ring? Are you feeling Space Station 14? Or are you feeling... I don't know, it's Maeve's birthday today.
Ooh, it's their birthday? Send me the thing. I'll raid him. Let's give him a happy birthday present. Including making a game, dude. Yeah, it's the whole justifying a price. Really dumb. I just think when it comes to...
We're doing Jackbox right now.
Oh, fun. Thank you. Maeve the possum. Is this a Moxie joke I'm getting hit with right now?
No, it's a possum, like a possum.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm not a okay, haha.
Yeah, I'm not a possum, you son of a fucking bitch.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Oh my god, I kind of hope... what the hell? You know what? That's fucked up. But we'll raid the possum, why not? Thank you guys so much for joining me. Tomorrow, I will be playing with Diana and Skya as we play some CS2. I might try to do these more often, because I was really enjoying these. So thank you guys so much for being here. And I will see you guys, tomorrow. Yeah. Let's raid up the let me put in a message for everybody. I'm just gonna call this Emperor. And spam the damn emote. Spam the shit. That's the raid message for everybody. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being tomorrow. Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
And... oh shit. Oh shit. Braid.